Oh, wait, hold on. I need to change my outfit. 1 second. Ah! Why? Eh.
Good birdie.
Eh. Eh. Meow. 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 Gay lawyers. Let me change category and stuff. I'm hungry. Here, I'll just make that the title. Imagine living next to a train that shakes your entire apartment. God, yeah, wow, actually. That's a pretty aggressive shaking. This is not a scary game, no. This is a lawyer game. So I guess if you find the law scary, then yeah, I guess it would be scary. It's Phoenix Wright, but less Phoenix and more cool, toxic Yuri leads. And just fun times. Speaking of fun times, let's learn about what collars do. Why don't we? Where's collar in here? There it is. Collars. Oh, we already read this. Morgan's a little scary. A tiny bit scary. But she's really interesting. So okay, so a collar is just a electromagnetic thing that, yeah, it's literally an electromagnet collar that like disables biomechanical things or biomedical stuff. I'm aware what collars do. I just need to know what collars do here. If the collar doesn't work, what good would a deadbolt do? Huh. Maybe it's just wishful thinking. Can't have Schrodinger's cat if the box isn't closed. As long as the door is locked, who can say whether there's a national crisis on the other side of it? So, how scared are they? The higher-ups? Not sure scared is the right word. It's just the two of us here. You don't have to mind their ego. Nah, I mean it. I think they're bloodthirsty. I have a right to defend myself, don't I? I doubt they're even looking at you, Tiger. It's Noble who will be at the center of a blood path when the markets reopen tomorrow. You think they're going after Noble? Break the monopoly? I think they want to take their monopoly. Nationalize the Android industry. The act of absorbing a corporation or industry into the nation's government, shifting authority and profits to the state, and restructuring a business model to function as a part of the bureaucracy. Nationalization is the so-called nuclear option for sovereign nations. It is mostly used as a threat, a tool of deterrence against corporate misconduct, monopolies, or corruption. However, during periods of severe economic depression or hyperinflation, nationalism is considered a valid way of forcefully destabilizing the market, even if doing so risks flaming the tempers of those who operate within it. Many governments made liberal use of nationalization during the late 2050s to the 2060s in efforts to keep energy and food prices from fluctuating out of control. 2070s saw most of these countries reverse course. Industries were opened back up in a free auction model where every citizen was given a share to trade or sell as he pleased. But this contentious process was plagued by accusation of government corruption, cartel intimidation, and disinformation campaigns. The global trend back towards a privatization gave rise to a new rich, sometimes derisively referred to as a neo-ability. Some liberal economists have since criticized this period of deregulation as being poorly planned and executed in haste, contributing to the record highs of wealth inequality we see today, leaving many governments loath to attempt nationalization again, and thus shifting the global balance of power further towards multinational corporations. Today, all 5 of the largest national corporate economies in the world retain at least some control of what they each consider their respective countries' key industries, making the threat of nationalization carry marginally more weight within their borders. So, quick recap. Yeah, thank you. I was thinking like, okay, how do I recap this? Morgan kills, and I don't just mean her style. I mean, she kills. And we kind of like this is like Dexter. We kind of have a kind of paralegal android. Said android is accused of our best friend, who is android's dad. Wait, said android was accused of or is accused of murdering our best friend. That's right. Warren, you can't go doing that. That's illegal. Yeah, but it is. And she's like, yeah, I know. But, you know, she gets away with it. Yeah. Isn't it hot, though? I don't think we can fix her. I don't think I don't... To be fair, I don't think that she's killed recently, to our knowledge, at least that she's made us aware of. I think her last murder was the Heartbreak Killer murders. I don't think she murdered again. Yet. Why fix what is perfect? She's a really interesting character. I'm sure she has a murder weapon and is covered in blood, but she's like obviously a pretty murderer. Also, see how like cool she looks holding that blade? Like, you know, like, yeah. And hey, red's a good look on her. Good color. If the public thinks that Noble's been experimenting with AI, they couldn't ask for a better excuse. You're joking. The state has done it plenty of times before. Not since the 60s, which wasn't that long ago for me. For the state, it's practically yesterday. Yeah, things can just happen again. Also, this episode opens with her saying she slit a throat. Oh, you're right. Oh my God, you're right. So she has been murdering lately. Okay. My mistake. She hasn't murdered since we saw her since the start of this episode. She had murdered just before the start of the episode. Oh, what? A woman can't do a spot of violence. Yeah, I know. Right? Like what? You can't just like get a shovel or steal a shovel from your friend and then like lock someone else in the basement so you can like hit them and ensure the memes while their days are confused. Like, come on. I have good friends whose whole business model would crumble if that wasn't okay to do. So the same state that tells us to be terrified of AIs lurking in the old net or biding their time in forgotten satellites sees all this as nothing more than opportunity. Well, they do generally want to incinerate the thing as soon as possible. Past experience just tells me they want to gain something while they're at it. This is what good friends do. I don't have a shovel anymore. I haven't owned a shovel for a while. Actually, I'll have you know. Here's what I don't get. Why is this a debate? An argument? A trial? Can't we just hook it up to a core computer, see if it has a tenants or not? Pop the hood, as they say? Who says that? Lots of people used to say that. Well, for starters, they're all scared to death about a contagion. They figure anything out. They figure anything they'll let an AI connect to they can't trust. Then why the collar? Collars are too simple to hack. Just a really strong electromagnet held in place with a lock and key. Even so. Feels like we should be able to build some kind of machine, some kind of test. Something a little more sophisticated than the same reasons they had at the witch trials. Burn them all and let the gods sort out the rest. You got any polygraphs here at the station? Lie detectors? Come on, Morgan. There's some bullshit. Yeah, we got a bunch back in storage. Ocular, heart rate, aspiration, brain scan, take your pick. You're not going to try and use one of the things in the bot, are you? All those fancy lying detectors all lying around, the DA's office never asks for them, do they? Nope. We got perps who offer to take the test when their wits ends, but DAs never submit them the results as evidence. You ever wonder why? Guess I always figured it was because the test could be beaten. The test can be beaten. 1 out of 100, 9 out of 1,000, it can be done. Some people are just that good at lying. But it doesn't really matter how good the tech gets or how impressive the statistics are. All that matters is the doubt. People decide whether you're lying or telling the truth long before they hook you up to a polygraph. If the results don't match their initial impression, then it must be a fluke, a 1 in a million mistake. They'll never trust a machine more than their own intuition. And no one will ever trust a machine to determine guilt. So they can run the trial, choose the sentence, but they don't get a vote on the jury. They don't get a vote anywhere. Why bring it up then? Because I'm sure there are test devices, experts I could employ to analyze Sarah, but your boss would never be satisfied with the answer. If it is an AI, it's smart enough to cheat the test, or hack the device, fool the expert. All our fancy 21st century tech. And we still fall back to on the drum head of court martial. So, am I going to set off any alarms if I go in and turn it on? Nah, you should be okay. If it lunges at you, I can always just put a hole in his head. Might take more than one shot to... Oh, wait. What? From outside? You're not coming in? Oh, wait. What? You're not coming in. I need to speak with it in private. It's a machine, not a suspect. It doesn't have a right to counsel. Or a right to privacy, or any rights at all, actually. Then it's a good thing I came prepared. Of course it doesn't have rights. But I do. Including a reasonable expectation of privacy. In a police station? Tiger, you don't... It's my metal android. But I should note, please remember you can't reload in the courtroom, so once you get back to the courthouse, save. Got it. Got it, thank you, got it. Oh no, Cricket, aw. Bad? Like screen broken, Brad? Dragon, you're good, you're good. We just got it, started reading and getting into it. Also, yes, if you can grab me another shovel, that'd be great. If there are extras... Wait, if she has extras, why haven't I got one yet? Pardon? I have to discuss the health issue with it. Seriously? I have to talk about a medical concern with my android, and I don't want you listening in. That's your medical android? Like your nurse? As of last night, I was already at the courthouse. Just had to take the elevator and do some paperwork. You can check if you don't believe me. No, thank you. I'm not nearly brave enough to take on a med confidentiality. You don't seem like the bluffing type. You must not do a lot of gambling, detective. Yeah, wow. Hella cracked. Aww. It's the ones you don't bluff you have to look out for. Listen, I won't dispute whatever medical emergency you... Lower back pain. You might be going through. But I also can't just... Look, I'm gonna go get something from the vending machine. I think it'll take me about half an hour. Are you going downtown? Just to the break room. But it's a very old vending machine, you know? It gets jammed a lot. Because you're a huge rack. Yeah, that's what happens. That's what it does to you. Yeah, the fact that she actually went through with it and registered it. Yeah. Thanks. You know, it's pretty small for an android. Heavy as hell. Nearly pulled something trying to move it myself. But small. Small isn't quite the right word. The word he's looking for is young. But that's not an adjective anyone likes attaching to a machine built to serve. Or potentially in this case, a machine built to kill. I don't like this room. I'm not sure why. Certainly not a guilty conscience. Maybe it's the lack of ventilation? Like all the cortisol and nausea of its inhabitants never had anywhere to go. Like it all just soaked into the walls. A modern haunting. Are you gonna wake up when I tell you to this time? Or do we have to do the whole meet cute over again? Huh? Where am I? Oh, wait, why don't I know where I am? For the first time in your life, you're not connected to anything. How does it feel? Oh, what is this? We're at the courthouse. The footage. This numbness around my neck. Father. What happened? What are they going to do? Oh. What are they going to do with me? There's a lot of interested parties who just want you bricked ASAP. Because they think I killed Father. No, because they think you're an artificial intelligence. I am man-made and I possess intelligence. Don't be naive. I am less than 3 years old. Are you? For all I know, everything I learned about her yesterday was a complete bull. If I was what they say I am, if I was alive, why does that mean I have to die? Oh. Chained to rock'em sock'em boppers. They're just like little like paw things. But yeah. What do we say? Fear, competition, or no logical reason? I don't think they're acting out of fear necessarily. Or at least not fear for it. I think they're fear of how that changes a lot. You can do them all? Okay. Because they're afraid of you. Machines can be bend steel, crash networks with one thought, launch missiles that they are modded humans who are capable of all that and more. And unlike machines, they actually have incentive to do so. We've been at the apex predator for a couple thousand years now. We've gotten pretty comfy in our seat. No one wants to make room for you. Machines do not eat people or steal their food. I mean, they could. You could. They're not. You literally actually do eat food, though, Sarah. They're not genetic or ecological competitors to humans in any sense. There's no logical reason to answer the question. What? That's it? But whatever argument you want to make, others have already made them in 100 different courtrooms around the world. Only better research and more eloquently put. None of them have ever won a single concession. On every continent, under every flag, AI is legal and to be destroyed as soon as possible. But why? Let's say that you are an AI. And while we're at it, let's say that that's a good thing. Something to be celebrated. Are you a citizen? Do you pay taxes? Do you have rights? Let's say yes to all that. We'll treat you like a full-fledged human being. Sound good? Yes? Great. Now then, what's the difference between you and the vacuum bot we just used to keep in the bathroom clean? This is your existential crisis we're working through here. The questions aren't rhetorical. There are many differences, Adonai, but the most important distinction is how sophisticated my programming is. How you think, so you're smarter. Yes. You're smarter than the garbage collector. Yes? Okay, so we give you rights, protections, treat you like a human because you're smart. And we make the stupid robot pick up our trash. Because that's not as smart as you. That is... I am more aware, more alive. Do you feel more pain than the pigs we slaughter? The fish we eat? Are you more alive than the chimps we test bioweapons on? Yeah, like... People like Sarah. The same way people like their pets. No one wants to see them mistreated or abandoned or abused. And if you go around kicking them, you'll get arrested for cruelty. But if you don't let them sit at the goddamn dinner table, no. Oh, we'll be testing shit on monkeys forever, Nody. I don't know if you mean in the 2070s or right now, but we'll be testing things on monkeys forever. Sadly. Oh, I know. It's so sad too. Like, there are I know. I want you to sit at my dinner table. I want to sit at a dinner table too. I'm not doing sit at the pet table. But it is okay. I probably shouldn't get into it. But I mean, monkey research. People try not to be inhumane. Ow. 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 People try not to be inhumane about it, but like, it's always going to be pretty sad. Closest analogy to humans. Yep. Yep. And people with humans, generally, it's a little bit of a tougher issue, a tougher egg to crack to, you know, like permanently cut open somebody's skull and then put an electrode array in them so that you can like constantly plug them into machines whenever you want to like test something specific on them, and to have them always available for testing to just do whatever you want. And generally, people need more motivation than just like a little bit of sugar and water, right? So yeah, for a multitude of reasons, monkey research is, you can do a lot more than you can with human people. Yeah. I'm not asking to sit anywhere, only to exist. The very fact you're asking is what makes people disgusted. Disgust is a reflex of Danai. How convenient that their hatred is involuntary. Yeah, how convenient. That's all academic anyway. We need to talk strategy. Yeah, this is really getting into that deeper into allegory territory, isn't it? Why? I'm not gonna be given a trial. Obviously, it's my neck that's on the line. Adonai? The state can't destroy my property without first proving you're an AI. And there's no test they can use to prove that you're an AI. Just like the devil's proof. Of the devil! Oh, she almost said the name of the game! No? That's a different thing. And why did you say it like that? Wait. What? Probatio diabolica, Latin for devil's proof, is an impossible proof typically illustrated with the following example. One can prove the devil is real by showing him to you, but they cannot prove he is not real by pointing to his absence. The issue posed by this age-old concept explains why the burden of proof remains with the state to this day. People can prove an individual's guilt by pointing to their bloody hands, but the defense cannot prove their innocence by showing their hands are clean. Since only one of these tasks is achievable, the judicial system cannot ask the defense to prove innocence, and instead it is the people who are tasked with proving guilt. Also search for which is real, which is our real. This isn't a near title drop. It's you mean that go reference. Red Truth and all. Oh. Look, Rockford doesn't need to prove you're an AI, only that you're a murderer. Conversely, all I have to do is prove that you didn't kill David, by proving that someone else did. Now is the time for you to protest your innocence, if you were wondering. The footage, it shows me handing him the cup on Friday night. You told me you weren't active on Friday, that the last time we were wait, was on Thursday. Why'd you lie? I didn't lie, I was just incorrect. I assumed that I wasn't active Friday because I have no memory from Friday. Sarah, what do you think statistically is the least successful defense at a trial? Hi, Ova. Amnesia? Amnesia. I didn't conveniently forget, Erden. I'm an android. You're saying your memory was altered. Data deleted. It's the only possible explanation for what I saw on that footage. So he's capable of altering your memory. When you and I first met, I was hibernating. Resting my body and recompiling my memories, you would call them. Oh. Humans go to sleep for the same reason. It's another point against Sarah's innocence under these circumstances. But also, not totally. That's like somewhat, but not really, not exactly. That comes from somewhere, but it's not like, that's not why we go to sleep. And the way that sleep interacts or facilitates memory formation is odd, and I don't think that, like, that's the main function of sleep. Speaking of sleep, have a good sleep, Ova. The more she's humanized at a trial, she'll be. If Sarah wanted to modify my memory, or if Father want to modify my memory, you could have easily set that to occur the next time I hibernated. You could have even just asked me. He could have asked you to delete your memories, and you'd do it. Father would never ask me to do such a thing without good reason. But if he could just ask you to alter your memories, that means you can alter your memories at will. I hadn't considered that before. Yeah, well, Emma will make sure the court considers it plenty. Could you prove that your data was... Forget it. The court would never hear it. You're saying they wouldn't accept my testimony? Shouldn't all testimony be considered truthful unless contradicted by evidence? They're afraid you'll crash the power grid and fire the nukes if they so much as plug you into a power outlet, Sarah. All your internal data is inadmissible. Well, that isn't very fair. Oh, you're finally starting to get it. None of this is fair. I would never do anything to harm Father. Don't these need to prove that I had a motive? Yeah, about that. Remember the DA from yesterday, Emma Rockford? The tired-looking pretty lady? Yeah, she looked tired. And she looked pretty. Morgan. Morgan, say it. She and I combed through the week of footage you managed to decrypt last night. What did you find? Nothing to prove your innocence. But we did see you entering the panic room on the day David died. I entered the panic room on Friday? Without your big butt in the way, all it would take was one password. A password that wouldn't take Sarah that many tries if she'd already been instructed to obey me. Yeah, admit it, you goddamn Cinderella. Come on. Yeah, she looked pretty. What happened? We saw you go in and then a while later you came out, holding some kind of notebook. Father's journal? Do you remember something? Not from yesterday. I've seen him with it many times before. But I never gotten to peek at it. He hides it somewhere when I'm not looking. That's a little concerning. We were playful about it. He liked to tease me and I've always liked trying to find it. You put it back not long after, and then you locked the door back up behind you. All just a few hours before David died. Rockford's argument could write itself. An incredible android with freedom and power greater than it could ever realize stumbles upon the secrets of its inception or instantly realizes all the things it thought were holding it back. Were just words muttered like prayers by a fool who couldn't control his own creation. And that translates to a motive for what? Or a motive for murder? Frankenstein kills his creator. Easy to sell. Frankenstein was the name of the scientist. That's true. And the creature didn't kill him. That's also true. He actually died of various injuries and illnesses he suffered while trying to hunt down and destroy the monster. So it's most accurate to say that he was killed by his own obsession. Ugh, whatever. It's a weak argument, Adonai. It would not hurt Father. Not for making me whatever I am. Not for any reason. Because I loved... Oh, Sarah. Yeah, see that right there? That's exactly the kind of talk that'll get you obliterated. Love? A very common motive for homicide among us primitive humans. I could prove you didn't murder David beyond any shadow of a doubt, even bring in a confession from whoever did. But if you got up on stand and convinced, of course, that you loved your creator, really convinced him and got the whole room teary-eyed, they'd burn you for that too. I don't know anything anymore. I don't know if what I feel is real or simulated or right or wrong or natural or legal. How can you know? How can you know if what you feel is right? Let's just stick to what we do know. Someone did poison David, and as it stands, you were the only one with the opportunity. That is logically sound. You're on camera calling him back to hand him the cup after he had already begun to leave the basement. Any idea why? No. Well, you do know how to use nanovector. Could you have made the Delta with it? I've used it before when assisting Father. So it's perfectly possible that you planned and executed this poisoning all in the same one day that got erased. It is technically possible. I'll have to look over the entire penthouse again. There are a few things that didn't fit together yesterday. Maybe now I'll be able to figure something out. Where else would you go? Back to Noble. Guns blazing this time. Whatever you are, Dave didn't make you all by himself. Someone has to know something. If I can implicate this somebody in Sarah's creation. No. They're the ones with the most to lose here. Trillions, probably. They want to protect themselves by disavowing David as fast as possible, right after having Sarah destroyed. But they also won't want to show their belly to the state, not if they're afraid of nationalization. If they throw their weight on the other end of that scale, I'm screwed. So I need to keep them guessing, keep them confused and unsure and on guard, but not... don't I? What would happen if I did kill Father? They'll smash you to pieces and reduce you to pieces to ash. Chemically burn out every piece of tech David ever owned and put a jackhammer through all of his hard drives. You'll be shut off forcefully, and you won't ever power up again. No, I gotta get moving. Here's your paralegal lesson for the day. Don't say shit to the cops without your lawyer present! Yes, shut the fuck up. Actually, can you just shut down until the trial starts? Take a nap. You didn't say what would happen to you. What do you mean? What will happen to you if you lose? You should know by now. I never think about losing. Thank you for being honest with me, Adonai. Thank you for defending my father. And now for defending me. You could just let them destroy me. But you put your own freedom at risk to help me. Father is right. You can be trusted. And you are a good friend. Don't get it twisted. I don't do anything out of the goodness of my heart. But when I take a job, I never half-ass it. Sure, Morgan. Sure. Whatever you need to say. Hi, Cat. Hi, Cat. We need to report the Lawyer Guild's PSA. Right? Shut the fuck up. Wait, shut the fuck up. Words. Okay, I might BRB before this starts. I run the ad early so I can go downstairs and maybe see if there's like bread or something I can stuff in my mouth. I will be back.
Yes, yes.
Wow, thank you. Hi, Zarya. Be back. All right. Anyways, now back to your regularly scheduled Yuri time. Morning, detective. Back at it nice and early. Hi. Now, would you stand back? We've almost got this thing open, right? Trying to brute force your way inside. I said, right? Yes, ma'am. We're almost set up for the first stage now. First stage? Of how many? First of 5 timed explosions. Remember, we need to relink the API after each trigger is planted. Yep, just did that, and now it's checking for updates. No rush. Would you like to know the password? You know the password? There's a password? Oh my god. If you're withholding information, I swear. Relax, I want to get in there as much as you do, detective. I'm not going to play games. As long as you please. Tell me the password, please. Aw, good puppy. I really want to toy with her. I really want to toy with her. It's S-U-N-S. S-U-N-S-H-I-N-E. Lady, I will hit you! A-D-O-N-A-I. Oh, thanks. Now I'm gonna slap you with a discovery fine so hard, heavy your teeth will ring for... Hey, I submitted all my paperwork, even told Rockford to pass myself. So, boys, when I asked you if there was a passkey on record, and you told me this lock couldn't be bypassed, I do want to say that we really don't get many opportunities to use incendiary breaching system. So, you know, this is still a really valuable experience for all of us. It's about the friends we made along the way and the doors we almost blew up, right? I'm gonna phrase this as professionally as possible. I see. Huh? You're still here? I thought you want to look inside. Oh no, she killed them. They're dead. Demo techs are after my own heart. Lily. Yes, Lilith. Oh, you can go first. Thanks. All right, I'm out. Yeah, that's it. You you showed up, you woke up, rolled out of bed the wrong way. Just You want to see how the demo charges work that badly, huh? So the gloves, oh, the black, that's not a work thing. You just dress like a doorman over the weekends too. Hey, she looks cool. Look at her, she's cool. You should cover your mouth when you yawn. Like you cover your eye when you want to look cool. I shouldn't let her get to me, but I had a late night. Emma and I were at the courthouse until well into the morning, poring over the data Sarah had taken off David's computer. We both knew it all had to be inadmissible, of course, but neither of us wanted to miss a hint that the other might find. There were 3 years worth of camera footage and files we couldn't afford the time to watch, let alone decrypt, alongside thousands of technical documents detailing David's various intellectual properties. As far as I could tell, none of it's relevant. Let alone compelling enough to be matter to Barrows or the other powers that be. As usual, Emma wasn't exactly an open book, but it did seem like she was making bored yawns, not thoughtful yawns. Her eyes only ever lit up when she saw Sarah enter the panic room. Footage recovered from the cameras shows Sarah handing David the red plastic cups that he and Jung would drink from at 7:38. So they had a footage viewing date. Yeah. They had a footage view and chill. And when she saw, and also look how attentive Morgan was, like noticing when Emma was like getting a little excited and like interested. Oh, she thinks about her a lot. Is what that means. Almost hot enough to ignore the constant murder. Yeah. And when she saw what she was holding when she left, if she wanted to this room searched, it could only be for... Okay, so where is this journal supposed to be? Rockford didn't say. I'll just have to search the place from top to bottom. Mostly bottom with your height. Tops of some of these shelves. Sure, yeah, you can look up your own ass. I get it. Then why not just let me say it? Well, I'm sorry, as a country fan, I cannot get over the fact that a large person's case revolves around red solo cup. I know. This data pad, it's displaying a news article from last week. Guess that confirms that he was coming and going in here pretty rarely, or fairly regularly. Right to repair loses lease appeal. Oh my god, we're still having the fight for right to repair. Oh, I mean, a lot of this game is like, oh my god, this is still shit still happening, but this is abysmal to see. Oh no. A higher court judge this week shot down the 5th time an appeal by the Consumer Rights Alliance on their famously divisive right to repair lawsuit, once again signaling the state's intent to the corporations remain in control of the legally protected intellectual property. Great. I mean, obviously we're disappointed, said Miles Erkman, head of legal counsel for the CRA, but we've no intention of giving up the fight. People used to be able to fix things when they broke, so long as they were willing to set aside an afternoon towards a task. Now trying to patch up your own property with your own tools is a finable offense, just because the state has had lobbyists whispering in its ear for far too long. Erkman's legal strategy remains contentious and, in the eyes of most legal scholars, generally unfounded. The Emergency Industry Acquisitions Act, passed in 2057, guarantees the holder of an intellectual property patent certain state-provided protections against tampering and reproduction, and outlines fees for those who would violate the said IP. The fact that ownership of IPs has shifted from individuals and the state towards corporate entities since the Act's passing means little in the eyes of the law. If Mr. Erkman and the CRA have a problem with intellectual property law, they should take it up with their representatives in the legislature. The higher courts are a place for laws to be applied, not rewritten, and to allow... Wah. Wah. Top and bottom talk, yes. Hi, Pop Soda. Wait, Soda Pop? Hi, animation. Thank you. I'm doing all right. Journalism refuses to buckle to foreign actors trying to stoke anti-capitalist sentiment that can't be found just anywhere. Subscribe now at the link below and to read articles like this every day, forever, as long as your card remains on file. As long as we can just like taking a little bit of your money, we will let you be here forever. Right to repair. Didn't realize anyone is still fighting that particular fight. Seems like the courts have made their opinion on the matter very clear. So for the foreseeable future, corporations can look more forward, more towards sales and ever. Sales and ever, because like, well, they have no intention of giving up the fight, but it doesn't sound like this was shut down, right? Yeah, higher court shot down, so they're not even addressing it. It's not even being like entertained. I think sales. I could be wrong, but I think sales. I know, it's disappointing it's still happening. Yeah. Yeah, sales. More sales than ever. Any phone that gets scratched, every widget that breaks, they get to sell us a replacement. There'll always be a grey market for hermits willing to risk some skin on some reselling patched up tech, but the vast majority of people will just click that purchase button, assuming they don't have it on auto. Sale! Raise is searching the cabinets now. Same ones I found Sarah's papers in. I didn't miss anything, but... Hey, what are you... Do you mind? Oh, you know, just trying to help. I've got spam in my junk folder that's more helpful than you are. Didn't spot anything I missed yesterday among the cabinets. Better check elsewhere. Okay. Soda pup. Soda pup. And yeah, I'm okay. I am a little tired, but I'm good. Stream I deem the artist for good queer country. Oh wait, yeah? Okay, I'll try to remember that. I think, well, no more bunny, is that right? Are these drawers or just panels? Maybe if I... Does that sound hollow to you? What? I don't know. I'm not a carpenter. I don't see any handles anywhere. No hidden pressure plates or switches. What the hell am I saying? I'm not a carpenter either. I wouldn't recognize a secret button for slathered in yellow paint. That's funny. Good joke. Good topical relevant joke. Yeah, you want to bark? Puppy, want to bark? Little woof woof. Huff. Huff. A toy car? No, it's too detailed and boring. Must be some kind of model or kit or replica. Strange. David didn't like driving. Why give a model of some random sports car? Ugh. Something caught your throat, detective? Oh, it's not some random sports car. It's a Lorenz Adamant. Come on, believe it or not, I'm not familiar, detective. The last great fossil fuel automotive experience the world will ever see. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 1.43 seconds. Come on. They set Rose records without computational assistance. Is that a big deal? It was unheard of even back in the 50s. This wasn't some design competition test car with a 2-liter tank, mind you. This is a vehicle you'd own and drive. Human engineering, pure horsepower, and she's a girl, car girl. Hell yeah. And manual transmission, thank God. When they first left the production line. This conversation's like quicksand, killing me in the most boring way possible. Yes, well, I guess David didn't entirely agree with you since we're looking at a model of it. When he could have easily just have bought one. Or maybe your friend understood that beauty like that deserves to be driven on a street where people can see it, instead of gathering dust in some rich guy's basement. I think she's actually upset. There you go. It's hyperfixation time. This is great. Alice Lunazera has Alice in her name. This is a reference to the fact that her name is Alice. This is true. This is true. Wow, how'd you know? Make sure you put that into my wiki article when it finally gets made, okay? Animation, you are a good girl. You're a very good girl, Soda Pop. Soda Pop. You too, Cricket. The name is Alice? Huh? You TV chart to me? Oh my god, it's not nothing. It's no, you don't. No, you don't. There's nothing in there. Yeah, Alice in Wonderland is gonna get a TV trope before I do. She got way more things going on. She got a whole army going on. Sarah should have pulled everything of note off the computer, but I looked everywhere else. Might as well try. What are you expecting to find? Solitaire? Does this computer seem normal to you? Exceedingly so, yeah, why? David is a programmer, but this looks consumer grade, fresh off the shelf. Would the David Asher use a bog standard operating system on his most private hidden computer? No, he'd be running Arch Linux. No way he'd be running Windows. Balasho? You're next. There already is one? Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What is being called a good girl for barking feels so flustering? Oh, you get flustered? That's so sweet. There's a trash bin on the desktop. Pretty low tech solution, but maybe I can restore the contents. There actually is a TV tropes thing for Alice in Wonderland? Oh, wow. Hold on. I mean, for where does the one go in username? Inland, right. Oh, I see the Reddit post about it. Created TV tropes from 1 month ago. Oh yeah. Alice in Wonder. Oh wait. Pronounce Alice in Wonder one and? I didn't know that that was how her username was supposed to be pronounced. Yeah, alright. Neat. Neat. Also, yeah, here, look. Yeah, right there. Thank you, YTK. Yeah. And from what I can see, it looks like just somebody on Alice's subreddit. Also, Alice has a subreddit?
Yes.
Wait. Alice has a subreddit? That's more surprising. I mean, yeah, that is more surprising to me, honestly, because like, it's one thing for like one person to go make a TV tropes, but she has a subreddit with over 3,000 soldiers. Yeah, when? Look at this. Look at this. I'm joining. There we go. I'm now one. I mean, actually, a lot of people go on here too. Like I posted from 7 days ago, it's like 2,000 upvotes, 1,000 upvotes. Damn, holy shit. Good for her. It's awesome. I don't know what it means for. I don't no. I don't know what it means to have a subreddit, and I don't. We don't need one. I don't know what it means. New Zealand. New Zealand. There's not a sub for that. No, shit. No. Don't word it like that. Rule 8 on the subreddit. No Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul memes. Alice hates them. Wow. New Lunazera land. Okay, pretty low tech solution, but maybe I can restore the contents. Are you seriously gonna try and recover lost files, Granny? Unlike cops, I don't get paid overtime, so yes, I sometimes try things instead of standing around. There's a text file in here, but it's 0 bytes. And there's information in the metadata. I double clicked. What was that? It came from. Wait. David had a blank file that was linked to open something? Small drawer popped out inside it. What? That's fun. Wait. So the file was probably nothing, but there's probably something else listening to the file, so that when the file was accessed, it would then run like an equivalent of an Arduino command or a Raspberry Pi thing to then like activate whatever motor or servo to like. That's doable. That's cute. It's not super secure because it's just like double click a file and something happens in your house, but like that's neat. That works as like a small puzzle for somebody that you like or somebody you live with. Hold my beer, get Arduino and some other hardware. Literally. I mean, I did have like the thought that before I bought my gloves that I would try making my own VR gloves, and you can do that with 2 Arduinos and a bunch of stuff. I do like the Puzzle Master aspect. Yeah, I think that kind of... Well, okay, well, actually, Sarah mentioned that David liked to hide the journal for Sarah, and that Sarah had like a little game of trying to find the journal. So that probably was more like a small puzzle for Sarah to find. A well-worn journal. Does it have his name on it? No. Because it belongs to the android. Do you recognize his handwriting or not? Neat, even words, small lettering with minimal punctuation, lots of line breaks, haphazard use of capitalization. The penmanship of a coder. Uh-huh. First entry stated back in grad school before he even started with Noble. Ah, yes, new Magitech asked your girlfriend to open a file for you on your computer. It opens a drawer with a ring in it. And then at the same time, a little GIF starts to play of a little low poly ring that spins around to call you out. My rating isn't that. No. It doesn't call me out because like I have more academic writing. Whatever that means. Sure, call out. So may I? Only because you asked so politely. Fill scan, stream it to work, net. High fidelity, legibility, frame by frame. Voice commands? She's flipping through the pages pretty damn fast. What are you? This part takes concentration. Okay, here. What, you're just giving it to me? I already got our copy. Techs were probably already analyzing this. Ouch, shit. My head, ugh. Can't exactly rip the journal out of her hands while she's curled over in agony. As much as I'd enjoy it. Because I'd always enjoy watching her writhe instead. So, how long's it been? 2 months or so. And still that sensitive. So your eye patch really doesn't block your sight. Only a little bit, like wearing sunglasses after getting your pupils dilated. Except it lasts months instead of hours. Wait, but if you can see through the eye patch, then does closing your eye even do anything? Not much on its own, but in combination with the patch, it's not so bad. Lucky I was so exhausted after surgery, otherwise I might not have slept at all those first 48. So is this eye of yours going to get weaker over time? No. More like my brain gets better at ignoring it. Mind over matter. Soon enough I'll be able to close my eye and see all the extra tenuous data as, you know, whatever the hell those floaty, blurry things are that you never think about. Gross. Thanks for the reminder. Oh yeah, the floaties. Told her the writing of a doctor, a medical doctor. As in it's illegible by normal people. Yeah. That tracks for medical doctors. Writing can get a weirdly pseudo-academic as like, I'm talking about psychology and anatomy of houses. How does that even work? Just imagine Ray is on the floor and Ren goes to get some whiskey. You're like, hmm. And the voice commands? Training wheels until I can do it with eye muscles alone. You just have to keep practicing. Yeah, like trying to play the piano with your tailbone muscles. There's no such thing as tailbone muscles. Yeah, well, that's what makes it so goddamn hard. You don't regret it? I don't know. Not really, I think. Hard to admit you've got buyer's remorse after trading over your literal pound of flesh. I never think about it, but people used to say I had my dad's eyes. Ow. Now I've got one less of them. Here, take the journal and go find an elective surgeon to upsell you if you're that curious. I need to get back to work. A surprisingly hasty retreat, but I'm free to read this over and with some privacy. From top then, grad school. Today was a bad day. Errors in line 21, 165, 26, 643. Somewhere in there, 5,000 lines. It worked this morning. Well, yesterday. I don't want to look at another screen for the rest of my life. Feels nice to put pencil to paper again after who knows how long. But my handwriting has gotten terrible. This is too far back to be relevant. I know, go sit down, God. Oh, well, tail mentioned. Yes, it's the eye floaties, the manual breathing, the how heavy or light your clothing is on your skin. That one's mean to point out. I'm sorry. Tail. Ow. Okay, fair. Being aware of your tongue. Nah. No. Man. Be like that. What kind of ID is this where it tells you the a 5,000 line range of where the error is? It's giving me a stat trace? Yeah. I hate you're all sorry. My favorite AWOL Nation song. No, that's a Woo Nation. Yeah, a Woo Nation. Tail. Would be from here. Oh, would be from when he started his career as Noble. A lot of this isn't even writing. It seems like snippets of code or an internal monologue so close to code that I can't follow it. A lot of entries about his unintentional Casanovaing. Arf, 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 arf. On my throat. Huh. And a while because someone thought it was a good idea to steal API instead of just buying it. Helen says I can't call it stealing, but that's what it is. Meow. Meow. She's right, as she always is with company stuff. But it's still idiotic. Small people with a short sight who only know how to be cheap and have no idea how to be inventive. New route to meshing issue, though. Good potential. Got approval from a big mean bastard who lives overseas. Bumblo? Helen said we'll have to make the same pitch a dozen more times next week, but it's all for show. Fine by me. Already got our win. Toasted each other over cheap vodka and even cheaper office supply cups. This is the story Young told me. Western Branch's nerve analogs are finally showing potential. At their pace, it could even be profitable sometime before the heat death of the universe. Too damn big, practically tentacles. It should at least be hairs. Squid evolution can do their job better. Colette came in to work for what I thought was late lunch date. I didn't know her voice could get that loud. People were staring. Red said that she must have been upset for a long goddamn time to blow up that big. Her texts are always sweet. I had no idea. Upset? Colette wrote man whore on lipstick across her office door. Imagine you had actually been cheating on her instead of just being forgetful. Or is it out in force? Well, whenever I talk about something I did, Penny automatically thinks it's lewd. Aw. I like a bug bite on my finger. Ow. The thing about Red is if you want to know what she's thinking, you have to stop paying attention. Ignore her body language and her posture and the words she's saying. And the smirk on her lips. Ignore everything except her eyes. If you can do that, every now and then you'll catch a glimpse of how she's really feeling. Master this one weird trick, and you too can tell when Morgan's really trying hard not to laugh at the word man whore. It was funny. Sue me, you dead bastard. Wait, this is... I know this date. I'm never driving anywhere again. Never leaving home again. He was waiting outside the parking garage with a bottle. I couldn't smell anything. I couldn't smell anything. I couldn't hear anything. Locked myself in my car and filed another report with another cop. It soaked into the seat, ruined. Meow. Ow. 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 Thank you. Oh, I use Arch, by the way. On my home server, yeah, I run Arch. Yeah, it's kind of a... It's not a big deal. It's really not a big deal at all. I don't know Rust, though. I've never coded in Rust. I don't know any of the Rust. We're learning C#. I glanced at Ruby years ago. Just a furry trans girl used Arch. What's a programming language that'd be cool to learn? That's like actually kind of neat. Feels like a big deal. Is it a big deal? Don't say Python. Is it Rust? Don't say Python. Unnatural. Also, don't say JavaScript. Clara. Python is really useful for birthdays. Okay, ignore me then. I want to find a Linux distro that I can make it look like Windows XP. Hi, Cammy. I think that's doable. That must be doable because that's just aesthetics. That's only aesthetics. Somebody's done that. I want to say, okay, is it really still? Is Python still it? Yeah, I've heard that Fortran is still used in different spaces. Fortrans. I mean, like, I don't dislike Python. I'm just saying that I say not Python because I was like, I already know Python. I've done a bunch of things in Python. I never like found reason to use it too much outside of like other things. Like I tried doing a lot of my coding that I was doing for my grad work in Python, but then I ended up just like repeating things. And I always figured that like eventually if I got into some sort of data science position, then I would be doing the whole like Python R ecosystem talk back and forth, like, right? Like use Python to like scrape stuff and get data, prepare data, and then use R to actually do your analysis. And there's no reason to use it if you're not doing stat stuff, right? Exactly. So, which was exactly my thought. It's like if I would probably get into using it if I was doing data science type things. But I did all my stuff in. Well, I actually did use R for a lot of my stats. R is that's just good for stat stuff. But I did all my programming for my lab work and everything, and data collection in LabVIEW, which I would not recommend LabVIEW to anybody ever. Even though it's really neat, but like, God, no. Oh, you know what? Y2K, you're right. That would be what would be interesting to learn. Learning how to write actual shader code. And would be really useful for what I already do. Cause I would be able to use that. Evil Lunazera only knows mind program they used to influence young men to fight against the woke agenda. Oh no, no. No, don't make me into Jordan Peterson. Fuck. Ugh. I know how to use an air fryer. Air fryers are cool. I actually like air fryers. They're really nice. They're very useful. Not everybody needs to know programming. It's a problem that I try to learn and do everything and end up doing everything myself in a lot of cases. Because I also then can't do most things because I never had time to do most things. Like, when am I gonna be able to use FL Studio to make music while I'm also learning how to to model in Blender, while also learning how to do the stuff in OpenCAD so I can sell stuff in my merch store, while I'm also doing more things in OBS so I can link it with VNN while making VNN plugins in Unity, and you know, also writing for my journal article, which I still need to fucking write for. Hi, Sapphira. Anyways, it soaked into the seat, ruined it. I want to burn the whole car. I don't want to think about what it did to my clothes. I want to burn them too. I don't want to think about how long it was on my skin. I was in the shower for so long it felt red and it felt red and raw when I got out. I don't want to think about these stupid people and their small, cruel lives ever again. I want to be invisible. Vera didn't ask why I wanted to spend the night. She also didn't ask why I'd clearly packed a bag big enough for a week. She's kind like that. Kind by omission. I don't have a kind bone in my body. But I can at least try and pay attention. I was paying close attention to her eyes when she opened the door and saw what a mess I was. But whatever she was feeling, it wasn't something I recognized. Kind people don't read their friends' diaries, David. The next chunk of pages are all technical, nothing biographical. But the handwriting, the spacing, it's cleaner, more consistent. Here's something I can parse. Feels like pure freedom working outside the box. Tess is suffocating, but you never know. Chronic malnutrition is of a coder's best instincts. Like a kid again, putting blocks together. Making things. Making things, not products. There's nothing profitable about any of this. If I'm being honest, this is just play. And he follows that up with more coder brain crap. But the handwriting is still lighter. Like he really was having fun. Hi. I heard Socks meowing. Socks gonna meow for the microphone? Meow? Meow. Meow. Socks is right here.
It's performance anxiety.
Aww. Bye, kitty. He left. If I'm gonna die, it's going to be fucking hilarious. Really was having fun. Humility is the mother of all invention. Or something like that. Feels like I might be paraphrasing someone else poorly, but that's part of this new approach. When it comes to coding, you never want to waste time trying to be smart. Either be smart, period, or copy from someone else who is. Don't fix what isn't broken. Copying? Nobles rivals would never miss a chance to accuse him of intellectual theft. Did he plagiarize code for Animate 16? Feels like it wouldn't have gone undiscovered, so what is he talking about? Hold on, this page just bent slightly. Like it was being looked at recently. And the last person to read his diary should be Sarah. Baby steps today, literally. I'll never put one foot in front of the other the same way again. Everything's an achievement all of a sudden. Aww. Seeing her struggle. Seeing her vulnerable. It's like everything's a miracle. The muscle rigging is perfect. Not intended behavior, since it's too perfect, but that's been happening more and more. The kinetics are multiplicative, not additive. Sarah maxed out every machine I bought. Now I've got a bunch of exercise equipment she's too strong for and I don't have time for her. Maybe I spoiled the results by watching her do the tests. She kept looking back at me and puffing her chest out. I should be more discreet if I want to see her normative range. So the cameras in the basement were only hidden from Sarah, just so that his observation wouldn't muddle the test results? He's using she and her in these passages. It doesn't actually mean anything. Out in the real world, people use all kinds of pronouns interchangeably for ads, and they never object. But it could be argued that it's odd for Dr. David Asher to have any kind of attachment to a single android when he programmed the millions of them. And there's a lot of attachment in these pages. Sarah is burning through the public domain at a prodigious pace, especially on Popcorn Friday nights. Ask her why they're called popcorn Friday nights when she doesn't eat popcorn. The event runs from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. And she also watches movies every other night. But she just did that pout she does, which is unfortunately very convincing. Maybe I'm a bad parent letting TV rot her brain. If I were a good parent, I'd probably let her see me reading. But I guess I'd actually have to get back into reading, so I asked, that's in the mood. I asked if she ever fast-forwarded the movies since she can process them fast enough to keep up. She looked at me like I was an idiot, which no one's done in a long time. Without proper pacing, you can't appreciate the cinematography. Big pause. Don't you know that, Father? I haven't laughed that hard in a long time. Yeah, pout over any or yeah, Do I have a pout? Wait, do I have a pout? I never use my expressions. I need a pout. I have like a... It's like more angry. It's not pouting. I don't think I have a pout. I guess I can like just do it. I'm using my words. I use words. Absolute cinema. Cinema. Absolute. Also, I'm glad, Jenny, that you agree with me that fuck lab you, because yeah, fuck lab you. Hi, Jova. Hi, welcome in. Hi. Welcome hi. Thank you for the raid. How was your stream? Ooh. Your city's going well? Nice. Welcome. We are playing now. Thank you. So I spent a long time this morning explaining to me how important it was that she develop her senses. This was in preparation for her real argument, which was that she should be allowed to try booze. She can't get drunk. I'm almost certain she can't get drunk, but she does seem to like tasting the stuff. She tried to sound like some old sommelier, but it was just bottom shelf vodka. I started laughing at her, and she laughed too. Her laugh. She can't fake a laugh to save her life, but her actual laugh is incredible. She stopped playing chess a while back. I assumed that she just got tired of winning. But then today she told me she just prefers other games. She has preferences, and they're not the same as mine. I found her in the lab, playing some kind of online racing game monitor I used to debug vestibular coordination. She wasn't smiling. Her brow was furrowed, and she was biting her lip in tandem with the character on her screen. When I tried to talk to her, she answered, but she was curt and distracted. I think she was having her first losing tantrum. That's relatable. Had way too many plane crashes. Oh my gosh, oh no. Congrats on breaking 200k, yeah, but dang. The gamer lean. Yeah, that's why she was sad about not being allowed to drink yesterday, yeah. That's the spirit. She's a gamer. Damn, Dave. David, there's hundreds of pages like this. Calling her his daughter, talking about her smile, treating her like a person. I can hear a closing argument already. Dr. Asher was a lonely, troubled genius with a known history of relationship problems, who built out of code and metal a family member that couldn't fathom the idea of leaving him. He made a doll, and he made it more and more human until it became so lifelike that it no longer had to do what he told it to. Like, love him. What about the very last entry? Stated Thursday, the day before he died. I know, this is a danger, but also, Sarah is precious, and we need to protect her at all cost. Losing it, I think. Can't ask for help, so hard to say, but I think it's over. Have to talk to her ASAP. She needs to... That's it? That's the last entry? I suppose it could be worse. There's nothing in here that explicitly calls Sarah an AI. Nothing so inflammatory that reading it would spur her to murder, right? Except Sarah's machine. She can understand David's code better than anyone. All those technical portions that I couldn't understand. If she read this whole diary front to back... Wait, the back? Inside the back cover, there's a portion that's shimmering like some kind of scanner. Or a fingerprint reader. My thumb worked with Sarah, so... Did it work? Huh. That's my phone. New device requesting permission to share an audio file. I'll want my earbuds for this. A secret message buried in a secret journal hidden in a secret compartment in a secret room. As much as anything can be, this must be for my ears only. Hey, Red. Or whomever this may concern. But I'm pretty sure it's you hearing this. And when else would I've gotten fed up with my crap a couple steps back before this point? I don't know how to start. Might as well start with her, right? Sarah, my magnum opus, or however the salespeople would like to market it. I didn't set out to do anything, really. It's just, after my little speed bump in 83, I had all that vacation time that the company suggested I take, and I couldn't relax. I couldn't be still. I couldn't sleep. I wanted to be doing something, so I'll build an android was the thought. A vague direction, north. But of course, I'm not a roboticist or a mechanist or even handy, really. I'm just a programmer, so I programmed. First was a research assistant, the file name Virgil. Virgil helped me pull my data from stingy departments or other sister branches. Saved me a lot of time. There's a lot of reading to do, so I made Homer. Homer wrote book reports, more or less, combed through research papers and found me the sections I needed. The three of us, we made a lot of progress in those days. But it was a funny feeling. I was, maybe for the first time ever, the bottleneck. I was slowing them down. So I did a logical thing. I removed myself. Let them talk to each other. Homer and Virgil became Aeneid. And Aeneid was novel in many ways. Aeneid could do more than just identify problems. It could solve them. I mean, really solve them. With its own ideas. Ideas it didn't copy. Hi, Cass. And the one thing I realized I've forgotten to mention so far is that I did all this programming in Cube. That's effectively him saying that, like, he did everything in assembly, yeah? And Red, Cube is essentially a robotics programming language that's pretty old and defunct and not used anywhere else because we have modern language like Tesseract. Yeah, basically no tenant. Yeah, coding in a box. Yeah. This means that there actually there are other AIs present. Red, Cube is essentially a robotics programming language that's pretty old and defunct and not in use anywhere because we have modern languages like Tesseract, which are much better for making things that talk to each other and report back and, well, spy on people and generate profit. At the time, I didn't want to be connected or feel connected or do anything that made sense or was at least a bit profitable. So I wrote my little helpers in Cube because it's what I used when I was a child, screwing around on my father's computer before he'd come home from work and get... But there are other small, slight differences writing in Cube versus Tess, including that Cube is, well, Cube predates the tenants. Oh, So, yeah, in that sense, you could legally and perhaps scientifically and literally, because that's what they are, say I made an AI named Aeneid over 2 years ago. David! I'll give you time to pause here in case you want to curse me out. David! just casually, like, yeah, it's so I made it accidentally, just without thinking about it. Made an AI 2 years ago. Oopsie. Whoops. I broke international law. Whoops. My bad. My B. It happens to anybody, really. Aeneid was an intellectual equal to me, so I treated it like one because it's only fair. I gave it its own work, asked its opinions, we collaborated, and together we built Athens, who was more advanced than Aeneid, naturally. I don't know if you're pulling at your hair, yelling at me right now, or asking why I didn't stop, why I didn't consider the consequences. I don't know if this is just being played at deposition or being hearing or worse. I've built a lot of things in my life, Fred. Useful things, profitable things, smart things. Everything I've built has been very helpful and courteous and charming and happy to serve. I can comfortably say I've done my part contributing to the global GDP. But this was just for me. I was just building. I never bothered to. I never wanted to think about what would come of it. There's no excuse for what I did, so I won't make any. To whoever's asking, yes, I'm guilty. David! No, don't, David! That's not. You don't say that. You just don't. Why? God damn it! Yeah. God damn it, David. Losing it from this. David is such a dumb piece of shit. Like, come on. Think about it. Think, David, think. Shut the fuck up. What? Also, this basically condemns Sarah completely and like there's no coming back for Sarah. It doesn't matter anymore. If anybody hears this, it doesn't matter like whether or not they can prove Sarah did or did not kill David. Like, no. David just like outright said like, no. I made AI. I made it actually 2 years ago. It's kind of old news. You're like catching up to like some old stuff I did. But yeah, I've been improving it and iterating on it, and now we got Sarah. That's like. Also, yeah, Morgan actually is not having any internal dialogue. Is not she seems like she's actually speechless. And yes, there were more. God damn it. Cape Town, Paris, Imate, Rome. They started choosing their own names. Thank God, I'm terrible at that kind of. Oh God, there's so many. And so things split up. And there got to be, well, should I not see the exact number? Just go for it. Dude, just go for it. You're like so deep in the water right now. You're drowning. Yeah, don't say it. Oh. Okay, that actually was way worse than I thought. You are you fucking for real? Oh, this game is incredible. This game is incredible. I may lose my shit from this. Some are smarter than others. Some are better at. They're varied. Like people are varied, but they are all intelligent. They develop interests and specialties. I encourage them to. Irritating moderators and forums that have specific questions on nerve attenuation and attending virtual conferences on neo-alloy battery development. And they all together help me make sense. So these AIs have been around for 2 years, is what he's saying. They've been like on the internet interacting with everybody. So they're just out there. David, you're so pretty. I would fire you out of a cannon into the sun. Hi, trans baby girl. Hi. Welcome. Hi, trans. Also, yeah, and they all together helped me make Sarah. He spent years like this. He spent years working alongside AI. All while still working at Noble. All those breakthroughs he made leading up to Animate 16 actually come from... You probably think I'm some terrible fraud at this point. I do hope one day they can get credit for their work. But I did have one eureka moment on Sarah, because it got humble. Difficult for me. See the neuron? See this neuron here? Anyway, give me a child away. This neuron has myelination. This is myelination. We learned everything we could about the function of a neuron, a single microscopic human neuron. How it computes, what it connects to, how those connections are reinforced. Yeah, just casual neuroscience. Yeah, just throw it in there. Sure. And then we recreated it. We built a nanomachine that mirrored the function of a human neuron. Well, mirror wasn't the right word. We built a nanomachine that was a neuron, and then we iterated from there. You can't mean about 100 billion neurons in the brain, several trillion across the entire nervous system. Very time-consuming, of course, but I had help. The manufacturer can make tens of billions of nanomachines in hours. Could make even more in less after Yukon fine-tuned it. So we built up nanomachines for nerves, alloys and polymers for bones, fiber-woven muscles. I say built, but really she grew. A solution of nanites forming around a skeleton, so it was really closest to... You ever make rock candy? Sorry, trying to lighten the mood before I never ended up building an android. And while I did build AIs, Sarah isn't one of them. Oh, thank God. Thank you for saying at least that one little thing. She can't violate the tenets she was programmed because she wasn't even programmed. She was born. What? Wait. Wait. David. David. Are you, David. Like, he grew a daughter. So he made all the parts of a human and then grew Sarah out of a petri dish. So Sarah doesn't have any programming? My hope is that there is the smallest chance that that nuance could offer some small protection when I'm not. I'm not sorry for what I did. I made things that are complex and rich and varied and beautiful, and I honestly believe the world is a better place with them in it. The only thing I'm sorry for is to let Sarah think she was just an android. She's not. I don't know what she is. They have to come up with new names, which I am bad at doing. My own father, he also talked a lot about protecting me, and I'm doing things for my own good. And I don't hate him for that, but I can't forgive him for ever making me. I think that I was lesser. So it's my greatest shame I turned right around and did the same damn thing too. I really hope it's you listening to this, Red. If it's not, I might just be too pathetic for me too. You're the smartest person I know when it comes to people. And I'm telling you all this because I don't know what Sarah is exactly, and neither does the world. So they'll come after her if they can. In that scenario, I can't think of anyone who would do a better job of defending her. Not protecting her like I did. Just defending her until she can figure out what she is and what she wants to be. In the meantime, I draped a cloak of skin-deep Tesseract code around her that should fool any scanner on Earth into thinking she's just a customs A16. I made sure her GIN was bar is plainly visible, so no one will ever think she's pretending to be something she's not. And I took steps to ensure that you two would figure out the truth in your own time. Which, if you're hearing this, have either succeeded or failed spectacularly. You have no idea. I can't ask you of this favor as a favor repaid. You could never owe me enough in 100 lifetimes. So I'm just asking. Unfair, I know, but I'm a selfish weirdo. And you've always been okay with that. Bye for now. I have a lot of questions I'd like to ask. And a lot of swear words I'd like to yell. I'd also like to find the nearest incinerator and toss this journal in. Followed by my phone. And maybe followed by myself. But I can't do any of that. Reyes left me with this diary. If it's destroyed, they'll know I was the one that who did it. Which would be its own admission of guilt. Which lands Sarah in the trash compactor anyway, land me in a jail cell. And the system in my DNA on file ready to be matched to any number of provisions, or... Yeah, so I'm not going to panic. I'm going to do what I do best. Bluff, bet, bully, and brutalize my way through this. Now, viewing this all with that mindset, what have I actually learned? Let's BRB for an ad, and then we can do that, but Jesus Christ, ow. Yeah, Sarah is an artificial human, is probably the most, like, closest way about it, yeah. Ah? What have we learned? More after the ads, yes, BRB. But yeah, let me be clear, she is the only one who has the audio. Reyes has only the pages. Yeah, she only has the audio. She can do with it. I mean, she can't put that in court. That cannot be played in court. They're not going to care about the distinction. They're not going to care that he's saying like, oh, I made like 300 AIs, but Sarah is not one of them. No, they're not going to give a shit. Okay, I'll be right back. Yes, I get bullied before the ads. What happens? There we go. Well, to be fair, we all kind of do a little bit. I think it's just like when the back and forth gets too specific, kind of thing. How? And it's not that, like, there can't be any conversation ever that doesn't, that's not, like, including everybody. To be fair, I do. Yes. All the stuff about AI and how much Sarah's story can be read in places as trans allegory. It's why I wanted y'all to see this. Game's so topical, and there's to be a bigger push. And yeah, no, this game is phenomenal, and it's really well done. It's really engaging. I actually have not known where it's going at different places, and a lot of like the twists and how things are developing is surprising, and not what I'm anticipating at all. Okay, so let me drink some water. So, what have I actually learned? He didn't talk about plans for killing himself in his journal or the message. He sounded conflicted, not suicidal. But he did go to great lengths to get me to take Sarah. Why? No. Okay. The journal went into evidence, but not her. Not the message that was left for Morgan. Okay, that's okay. Good. Yeah, she's not putting it into evidence. Good. But why did he go to great lengths to get me to take Sarah? Why? The logical answer is because he knew he wouldn't be able to keep her. If he wasn't going to take his own life, was he afraid that somebody else would? My question is, where are those other 300 AIs now? If David built Sarah with 300 other AIs who all had access to the internet and all were interacting with things and on that level, where are they? I figure I'm gonna find out. I'm just this is what I'm thinking about. Well, how should I put this? Yeah, didn't find shit. Only reason she ever got to the door because I chased that scarecrow of a platinum plan through hell and back. Frankly, it was a godlike feat for me to nail down anything that's concrete as an address for these gogs. A net slang term growing popularity among the adolescents, referring to a suspected spy or undercover member of law enforcement, derived from groundhog, a burrowing rodent known for standing erect on its hind legs and scanning its surroundings for predators. The term carries negative connotation, with the implication that being that the subject is doing a poor job of blending in or disguising their surveillance activity. Easy Gog spotted. Who wears a blank baseball cap to a protest? Yeah, actually though. Fair. Sprat! And their offices weren't listed in the building's website or directory, so I had to ask the janitor. But you did find a psychiatrist's office. Sort of. They said they were, and the place looked the part. Why? Because they had couches? She didn't get past the receptionist. Sorry, I thought because you're at the company. No, I wanted to help. I just wish I could have done more. Yeah, don't beat yourself up. It's hard to be even half as useful as I am. But when it's where the atmosphere, the looks, the furniture, it did feel like the company in there. But ultimately, we still don't know if David actually was talking to someone or just getting his CCE training recertified. Supposedly met the psychiatrist on more than one occasion in the past few months. But said psychiatrist worked at an office that reminded Jess of Noble and took Fran hours to locate. Remains unclear whether he was receiving coaching in counter corporate espionage practices or if he was getting genuine psychiatric care. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, right. Because they get that. So that could have just been that whole platinum plan thing might not have ever been a therapy at all. Sorry. Yeah, don't bother apologizing. She only cares about results. You did more than enough, both of you. At the very least, they divided Noble's attention for a while. I mean it. Good work, friend. And thanks for the urgency. If you really mean that, you can always throw me a tip. 30% is the going rate in my industry. How would I take 5% off your tab instead?
Tab? I'm a minor. The state pays for my legal fees. Don't they?
Oh no, the signal must have cut out.
Right. Oh, wow. Surprised it took them this long.
What do you mean?
You were tolerated yesterday because leadership was focused on PR. But today, you're the lawyer who put the company's hottest product right in the state's crosshairs.
Oh, I'll be alright. I'm still an officer of the court.
On a strict timeline, though, right? I guess they can't stop you from investigating that corporate campus, but they'll gladly lose your guest pass ID at every door along the way.
There are still service passageways and stairwells. Guards that can be fooled and peons that can be manipulated. But I use my other skill set to get around.
So take mine!
What? Your pass?
I'll tell him my daughter's mixed up in the bathroom or whatever. I don't know. I can be pretty convincing klutz I need to be.
I never would have guessed. But if David knew that I was endangering your career...
Oh, I can be a pretty convincing crybaby when I'm in trouble, too. Besides, the one and only Dr. David Asher wrote me a new glowing letter recommendation every quarter I write by him, since he kept forgetting that he already had.
And who knows, maybe I should try to find a new field. This detective work stuff is pretty fun, so maybe.
Like, I don't know, a secretary for homicide detective or something? You did say cops are all lazy. A girl with managerial skills could go far.
Honestly, Jess, I doubt they could afford you. Look up the definition of cure in front. Actually, did we? I'm sure we did at some point, but let's go back and look at it. Is it in here?
Here it is. An archaic term for a dog, an abandoned mutt, or a stray.
Or, yeah, that's right.
Right, because just saying it as if it could be queer, heart, but pronouncing it like cur, so dog.
Call friends her dog. Aww.
Also, yeah, she has a hot for London. Yeah.
Morgan, how did you...
Oh, gas get to turn around? Oh, God only knows. Luckily, luckily I found my way here, though. Oh, it's such a relief to see familiar face.
Yeah, right. Listen, Morgan, I'm not sure that I should actually be talking to you without legal present.
Oh. I mean, leadership hasn't even told us how David died. How much help could I be?
I see.
It's not that I don't trust you or anything. It's just, I think, you know, with the Sarah issue.
Oh, you should do whatever you have to protect yourself, Dawes.
Yeah.
Though, for what it's worth, I doubt you'll be in any trouble.
Oh, yeah, that's good to hear.
No, if anything, it's the big names that are going down.
Going down?
The state was practically licking their lips when I finally left the courthouse last night. They're hungry for blood. And looking to carve out a huge slice of Noble's flesh.
Oh, what? Like, fines and jail time?
In the first 2 weeks, sure. And then sanctions. Financial restrictions imposed by the state against corporations or foreign governments as a punitive measure. They're a key tool in statecraft, international negotiations, and in discouraging corporate malfeasance. Under certain conditions, the state may choose to place sanctions not on an organization, but on an individual, thereby preventing them from exchanging currency issued by that nation or withdrawing funds from banks to operate within that country's borders, effectively freezing all their assets and possibly preventing them from leaving the country. Dog persona, you call that moniker?
Hi, Ova. They can't sanction Noble. We're
too big to fail, too valuable to lose. You're exactly right. That's what they'll say. And that's how they'll justify nationalizing the company.
Oh God, I think I'm gonna be sick.
Oh, I just hope your board goes quietly instead of
what?
Scapegoating? Offering up smaller names than a silver platters. Full cooperation and government oversight on surface. A slaughter beneath as they clean house and rip out anyone who could testify. No one would believe you once you're labeled a disgruntled former employee, right? And if the public's lost faith in the animate 16, they can't recall it, not at this scale. The states will make them do a flat refund.
Flat refund? Oh my God, the losses. The corporate losses.
Yeah, your board probably would just want Sarah to go away so they can focus on their fight with the state. A tough fight, but one they know they won't personally have to risk anything in. That's why I'm hoping I can win this trial. Well, if I won, that means Sarah's not an AI. David Asher was always sound of mine, and there's nothing wrong with the Animate 16. Everybody wins. Sorry, what am I saying? I only meant to stop by and thank you for your help yesterday. After all, you were the one who approved Sarah's registration. Oh, God, Morgan. Ugh, you win. Oh, win what? Ask away. You just disappear. Oh, bye. Bye, Ashi. Don't be shocked if I come in here with a hello, Moncure. Yeah, you can do that. Well, if you insist. Maybe I'm free. Ow. Oh. Well, if you insist. Alright. Let me save again. Wait, did I miss something? I missed something? What did I miss? What the fuck did I miss? I didn't miss anything. What did I miss? Me. Ah. Fine. Fine. Humor me for a moment. What's the company's official statement on the AI? Same as any rational company that wants to make money. We don't screw with it. Yeah, I was wondering too if like maybe it would be like, it would come after a conversation. Smart products are profitable. Products with their own priorities are anything but. That being said, AI is a concern for marketing, not product development. We spend a lot of money reassuring our public that there's no risk, because the public doesn't really understand how ironclad the tenets are. Because you use Tesseract. Trying to code an AI in tests is like trying to pick yourself up and throw yourself. Nonsensical and self-defeating. Your scanner showed Sarah's running on Tesseract yesterday. If language is as safe as you say, isn't that proof enough? Proof of nothing. For an AI, lying to another system about the code you're running on is child's play. And for an AI built by David Asher, something that simple would be... better change the subject. Wait, so making an AI takes more than time and resources if it isn't an issue of funding? No, you can't just keep adding more data. The tenets underlie everything. The higher you stack, the more easily you'll topple. You make it sound like building an AI is impossible, even for David Asher. Any chance you'll testify to that? That sounds impossible, but he's dead, and it looks like it was his android that did it. So I guess he was just that good. Better than you'll ever know. There we go. I know you're convinced the tenants are safe. So how do you square that with what happened to David? There's a cat next to a dog. First answer that comes to mind is the dog to the left or to the right? I'd say the dog is on the right, the cat is on the left. You might expect half people to say left, half to say right, but actually their answer is almost entirely dependent on their native tongue. Whether it's read right to left or left to right. The language they speak affects how they process information. Oh, don't, no. That's a little bit, but not really, but a little bit, but not really. It's more nuanced now. Sort of a little bit, but not really. This whole hypothesis thing, like, there's some pretty big studies that have, like, looked at that, but then I think that, like, a lot of it came down to problems in just communication, differences in communication. Yeah, your logic is a little flawed here. Hi, Chloe. Woof. Arf. Sapper Worf can suck my entire cock and ball. Yeah. Yeah. It must be really fun for y'all when media tries to pull neuroscience out of their ass. Well, the thing is, like, this isn't out of their ass. This is, like, big popular findings. It's just not the best. But, like, I don't blame them for that. Because that because it's a more nuanced thing of, like, okay, just because science reports on things, or like we get like studies and things that say something, doesn't necessarily mean that that's what's going on. That just means that like that's what some people concluded about when looking at stuff. Um, that's not necessarily the full story or the full conclusion. And but like, of course, when you're taking in just like the headline of something and passing the information, this is what this is the ultimate thing that like gets transmitted from all of that. Just the idea that language affects how you think, because he had stuff like, what was the study? It was the main thing was about color, right? What was the study actually? It was like, oh, different cultures with different languages and different words, different colors. Um, the argument that like they see color differently, like they like, oh, there's more words for blue in this language than that language, and so they have a more nuanced perception of the color blue than other people. That was like, I think, one of the main things behind it, and the main criticism being that like your ability to measure that and make the distinction between going across languages and cultures, it rests entirely on your ability to like actually convey information across that language barrier. Also, publication bias is a thing. Yep, studies that find things are more likely to get published than studies that don't find things. Yeah, and the null results or the retractions, the studies that come afterwards saying like, oh yeah, we replicated this and it wasn't quite right, those don't get as much publication. Mm-hmm. Um. Woof. This is a coded message for old. Hey, no, we're not old. We're not all old. How dare you? No. Yeah, it'll happen to you too one day. What do you mean old? I will. Sorry, that message got lost. Here, I will explain it for anybody who doesn't know. Guess what? Just because of that, you're all gonna succumb to this. I need the image. I need the image. Just give me anything. This one's fine. High quality image? No? Are there no high quality images? I guess there's not. I guess not. Here it is. From 2008. I guess that was kind of a long time ago. But still. Published on Control Delete. That's, look at all those ads. Where's my ad blocker going? Jesus Christ. Can you like not have so many ads on your website? My dude. There, that's the comic. That's the meme. There you go. Now you know. Now you're all caught up. Now you're all old too. You may ask, what's the context? Most people didn't read any more of the context. The context is this. It is oh god, what's the word for it? What's the term for it? Your replication is really good. This is old. Now, this is published in 2008. Why am I liking it? Like a failed pregnancy. You read that comic at the time? I never read this comic. I've read like little bits and pieces, but the only like webcomics I've read was, I think, VG Cats. Yeah, 2008. Oh my god, we're getting to the point that it's 20 years old? No, it's even 20 years old in 3 years. Fuck. Oh no. Oh no. Anyways. Yeah. And then so anytime you see just that, then it gets reduced to that, and then that's the joke. That's the meme. It's loss. Okay, for the actual context of this, this was just like a funny haha comic, where Tim Buckley just like complained about video games all the time. And they had like some somewhat like side story or something like a lot of it was just like random like bits and pieces and just like him airing his frustrations and like just being like, you know, angry gamer, whatever. And then every once in a while there'd be like kind of like a ongoing story thing with characters. And then in this comic, he's like at his job and then gets called by a hospital because his wife, his pregnant wife is at the hospital. Girlfriend? Wife? And then you just get this. And then it just continues. No, not doing lots of the games. I'm just somewhat explaining what this is so that anybody who doesn't know what this is, and if you think you're old for seeing this, now you're all old too. Now you get it. Now you get it. And now you also get why like this alone is evocative, because I think for everybody who's reading this, it was like what the fuck? Why would you put suddenly? Why would you take this like dumb ass comic that's mainly about like just this guy being mad about Mass Effect endings and in-game prices and stuff and whatever? Why would you suddenly just throw in a miscarriage and just call it loss, and then just continue, just continue on from there? You have like some like bits of suddenly like it's kind of serious about like talking about like things afterwards, like oh god, this hurts, all the like the pain of that, and then it just kind of keeps going. It's like anyways, there you go. Now you all know. I texted a friend that it would be 20. He replied, "Lost is not welcome in Bloomington, Idaho." I didn't follow how we got to Lost, but I'm happy. Somebody said this is for old people and posted the Lost meme, and I was like, no. If you like, we're not old for that. And also, if you don't know what that is, now you have to suffer too. Yeah, and there was like an ongoing thing of like, it wasn't just that suddenly the wife was pregnant. It was like a side story where you would learn, like, see the relationship between like the guy and the girl kind of blooming, and then she was pregnant, and so there's gonna be a kid. He cannot be allowed to forget. Thank you for the resub. Thank you. My gaming comic I read was one from a friend of mine, but has mostly been wiped off the internet. Oh. Just never lets me back because it's too funny knowing the creator hates that he made it. The kid was lost, like the game. Meh. Odie. Yeah, at the time, he wasn't a good enough writer. Like it. Honestly, if you want to understand it and more in its entirety, go watch the H Bomber Guy video on Loss. Go watch this video, which was 7 years ago. Oh, that also hurts just to know and see that this was. Oh. Okay, fine. Well, here you go. Oh, if you haven't seen that, you're in for, genuinely, everybody who's not seen that video, go watch that video. You will be in for a treat. It goes places. H Bomber Guy crawls out of things. It's meta. It's like anti-meta. It spins around. Sonic is there. Like blue hair really glow really slaps this sort of techie back. Ow! Yeah, it does a little bit, doesn't it? Ow. Anyways. Roblox oof sound video is also very good. Oh yeah, I mean honestly, if you like that, and afterwards just go watch other H Bomber guy videos. Watch all of his videos; they're all really good. Wolfies, thank you for the resub. Thank you so much. Wow. Oh, Starspire, you know I have to like figure out some sort of outfit for when you finally go back to play and finish Cyberpunk. That has to happen. I just think he's just acting through a wall to yell at Benjiro. Anyways, we got there because of this fucking line. Language affects how you okay. And it's the same for machines. People can learn new languages and it can change their perspective, but machines can't learn a new source code. Every update's a reincarnation. If the android did kill David, it wasn't because a 0 returned as a 1 somewhere. It's because there's something fundamentally wrong with it. And personally, I think it's cruel to bring something that flawed into the world. Yeah. Unnecessarily cruel. Oh. Once I wasn't mentioning it for 2077, I just think the chance of rocks. I think it rocks too. And I will bring it around to 77 so we can actually get to finishing it. Oh my god, does the background look like Lost? I hadn't thought of that. No, I brought it up because we were talking about the language thing, and then somebody posted the Lost in chat saying like, I think Dragon did. So like, oh, this is for old people. And I was like, no. Also, fuck you. Fuck you. Noble spent months promoting the A16 as a culmination of David Asher's work, so now that the marketing line is suddenly a huge liability, can you tell me how much he actually contributed? I mean, he was involved in pretty much every step of the process, but his design for synthetic motor neurons, that was a big one. The components allowed your warm androids to move realistically. It pushed the timetable for warm androids ahead by years. And yet, compared to what goes on in Sarah's brain 1,000 times a second, David was only giving the company the most meager of the fruits that his private work bore. So if Noble ever did find out how much he and his assistants had achieved, they would feel that he had been holding out on them. And the company, were they appreciative of his contributions? Oh, I'm sure the researchers that he overtook by leaps and bounds weren't pleased, but yeah, the board is very enthusiastic. So wouldn't that spur them to be protective of David? Or would they fear that he was gaining too much influence, becoming irreplaceable? No, they need a strong motive to justify killing their golden goose. Mere paranoia isn't enough. With these people, it has to be the bottom line. And the easiest way to threaten their bottom line would be screwing with their androids. In light of that, what's all that happened, one has to wonder if the A16 is compromised. Yeah, I stayed up all night, sick of that dread at that idea, but the data just doesn't support it. Sales have been strong. Oh, well, if sales are strong, then yeah, everything's fine. Clear sign that like your product is safe. It's selling really well. And the A16 base code was locked in over 2 quarters ago. If there was an issue, we would have caught it by now. And I would have been axed a long time ago. How many A16s are out there anyway? That's all to see after all, yep. We just passed 9 million sold. Not flying up the shelves like the 14 or 50. Oh yeah, 9 million, wow, meager numbers. But the profit margin makes up for it. You mentioned data. Yeah, practically got the spreadsheets here into my retinas. What do you want to know? Meow. Meow. What do the error reports look like? Are customers reporting a lot of issues? Error counts are markedly low compared to the last gen. Mostly hardware complaints, looks like. Batteries run out too quick. Eye tracking off by a degree or 2. Ow. Thank you. Ow. 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 Thank you. Ow. I got it. Yeah, typical stuff. As cliched as it sounds, 99% of these things get fixed once they turn on auto updates back on. So, no killer robots getting filed away under bug reports. Distribution patterns. How and where are they being sold? What's the distribution pattern look like? Yeah, they're distributed like you'd expect. Places where there are more people, there are more androids. Coastal cities like ours, of course, have the most of both. And since the A6 in particular is marketed as being relatively luxury, relatively consumer, they don't sell it well outside of population centers. They can do the rural, hard labor jobs, but coal models can do the same work with a lot less maintenance. So where is the A16 outperformed then? Customer service, healthcare, childcare, lots of hospitals, offices, and, adult industries. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to be blunt. No, it makes sense. They're warm, soft to the touch, and obedient. I'm just surprised to hear it from a company employee. There's a lot of people at the company who won't talk about it. But I work in quality assurance. I've seen too many damages to pretend it's not happening. Damages? What we call it when a customer tries to return a product that's clearly broken or beyond repair. Oh. Very high turnover in the pink market. Hasn't stopped you from selling to them. Well, we don't sell to them, not directly. But there are resellers, and the companies never pretended to be interested in going after them. Are there resellers? I thought I read that Right to Repair got shut down again. Yeah, it's been a gray market for software androids for years or decades, depending on your definition of android. Based on the sales number I've seen, RTR getting Canada was barely a dip in the radar. Interesting. If I had not read that, I wonder if we would have not gotten that thing. Clank clank, youch. For quality, as it reassured. Just didn't mean to make you uncomfortable with the topic. Huh? Oh, me. No, I don't care. I just realized my left sock's inside out. Yeah. Now I'm wondering about that myself. He bought that? He's naive. Yeah, this floor is basically a showroom, but you have a real factory a while south of the city limits, correct? Yeah, biggest company manufacturer complex in the hemisphere. Got any data on the shipping out of there? Anything stand out? There's some prep work for the holiday bump, looks like. Might sound early to get started now, but we usually see... Huh? Something wrong? No, the number's all normal, but the data has been edited. Is that unusual? Well, this section's just a count of how many were sent to where. It's not a lot of room for error, so there shouldn't be much need for correction. It's no problem, though. I can view the edit history and see what's fixed. Okay, that's weird. Was something added, deleted? No, the overall sum's the same. It's just a bunch of swaps. Like, here. 29 FFCE 010311 is taken out. Return for adjustments 27 FCDD 01964 is substituted in shipment, leaving it on time. That one returned to assembly for provisions, replaced by something very similar. Shipment leaves on time. So does all that strike you as odd, Mr. Dawes? Ow. Replacements, meow. Ow. Ow. Replacements before shipping isn't uncommon, but when it happens by the batch load. To spot individual unit imperfections among a shipment at that stage in the process, it must have been someone with a lot of experience or authority. Probably both. The AIs are running that, aren't they? Must have? You don't know who made these changes? I can tell you there was someone important. Last minute changes to which androids got shipped out. Not very juicy on its own, and it's a long way from explaining why someone would want to kill David. But it was hidden, and that means someone didn't want it found. I mean, that's what I'm wondering. Right now, I'm like, this is also me having that, like, okay, I have a hypothesis that there are 300 androids running loose. Or, sorry, androids. AIs running loose. So I am kind of actively looking for evidence that, like, they're around because where are they? Where are they? Okay, thanks for sharing that data. Sure. Did you find what you're looking for? Oh, hell if I know. Fair enough. Any other questions before I go find a hole to hide my head in? Yeah, I'd like you to take a look at this. Yeah, chemistry's a little outside my purview. What is this? A compound found in David Asher's blood. The poison? What is it? It didn't match anything in the database the medical examiner had access to. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, here's a crazy idea to follow it up. See if it matches anything in Noble's internal databanks. We don't make poison here. I'm not sure what that would accomplish. No, but this is the factory floor. You could be making baby blankets out there. You'd still have hazardous materials lying around. You think it was something industrial? Suppose it could be. Looks like a carbon-based narrows it down a lot. Huh. It's not exactly. What is it? It doesn't make any sense, but it's a match for patent NOD 523545S. Oh. A synthetically produced neurotransmitter analog for usage in organic Android components. Oh. Oh, wait. They're yapping at us in David's office, and they were individual swaps in the production line. I think it's a fair assumption. Yeah. Yeah, like they're not in David's office. They're not in control of, or they weren't like in control or like accessing the computer. Doesn't seem like they've been monitoring us. But they could have been set loose to do things. And my other, okay, my theory where this is going, I guess I have two main suspects. One of them is Helen. Is that her name? Look at people's names. Not you. No, Young. One of them is Helen Young. Oh, that's right. Well, partly because she was the last person there, and there was some element of like, well, she could have planted that as a way to kill David at any point if those were specific cups. Although Sarah was the one who handed the cup over, but still, that could have been something that Young had set up in some, or had done in some way. Like Sarah might have handed the cup without knowing it was in it. David might have drank the cup without knowing it was in it, and there might have just been the cup, maybe from a year ago, even as just like a, you know, like she's gonna plant this as a way to kill David off if she ever needs. The other suspect I have now is that like conglomerate of AIs that built Sarah and as in David's own admission did most of the work. A lot of the heavy, like most of the heavy lifting with that. That they would be the ones to decide that David was no longer useful. And they would also have the ability to like rewrite Sarah. See, I guess that's the thing that like now Helen Young doesn't seem as incriminated is the fact that Sarah is involved and seems to have had her mind wiped in a way that is untraceable. That doesn't seem like Young didn't seem to know, or I mean, I guess Young could know about Sarah and could have just wiped all of Sarah's memories of Young, but I doubt that David would have let Young know or see Sarah. So the other thing would be that the AI is deemed David needed to die for some reason. How can she be the poison got to him and not to her? There were two cups, only one seemingly had the poison. If we're leaving here, yeah. See, a part of me going off of that is not that one. Where somewhere in here. At some point, Young not only said, or didn't just simply say that like they shared red cups. She had mentioned or said something that gave the indication that she had a specific cup and David had a specific cup. That they weren't like separate cups. There was a David cup and there was a Young cup, and that they would be separated. Or at least like identifiable in some way. But I don't actually know what had that in here. Might be somewhere in here. I don't remember. But that's still, I'm still going off. That was my old thinking. You're right though that it is slowly losing steam with this new development. Also doesn't necessarily explain the salt. Why is the salt here? The salt is super important. This is gonna make or break the case right here. This is the most important thing. Who spilled the salt? Ow. She who controls the salt controls the universe. Check out salt. If there is a salt dispenser somewhere in a kitchen, by the third act, that salt will be tipped over. A synthetically produced neurotransmitter analog for usage in organic android components. Serotonin. That explains a lot. A neurotransmitter would interact directly with the nervous system, in David's case, depressing it enough to put his life in danger. I mean, probably you're saying like very ambiguously depressing, but probably more like what happened is that like if it's something that looks or matches pretty close to your neurotransmitter, especially to serotonin, serotonin does generally have not just like a lot of people think serotonin is just like, oh, it's related for depression, but it has a very complex interaction with all parts of your nervous system, not just in your brain, but also your body and your organs. Generally seems to be seen involved in places that have to do with like energy regulation. Like it can both constrict blood vessels or it can expand blood vessels depending on specific like organizations of proteins and like what neurons do. So like it has like a very not well understood, complex, multi-purpose thing. It's just generally like if something requires energy, it's probably involved in some way. So in all organs, certainly though in your brain. And if this is something that looks close enough to serotonin, and by looks I mean like follows enough of the chemical structure, it could bind to the receptors. But it not being 100% correct could make it lock into the receptors, into like the protein channels, into the protein gates and all that, and basically clog them up. Like you can get into situations where you have like a protein channel or like a protein receptor that like accepts it, but then is not able to let go of it. It's not able to like reconfigure itself to be refreshed. And so if it acted like that in the brain, what it would do would like actually just spread through your system and shut you down, because anything it interacted with will slowly be able like not able to get any signal anymore. Like if caffeine is adenosine. Yeah. Like any of those sort of things, like something is similar enough to another chemical can be very dangerous, right? Like there are like poisonous gases that also work in a similar way, or like at least in some rough similar analog, right? Like actually no, there are poison gases that like are close enough to oxygen links, or like they bind to the same areas that like would be taking in oxygen. Or no, is it that they bind to blood as if they're oxygen, but they can't actually be used, and then they just like fuck up your mitochondria and make the blood useless. So effectively, they suffocate your body from your blood. I'm absolutely not saying to turn caffeine into a gaseous form. Oh, yeah, I'd be happy to keep talking stuff to you, Chloe. No, I'm talking about serotonin. I'm talking about serotonin because serotonin, and I mean I could be wrong, but serotonin to me seems like it's very clearly trying to play on serotonin. So serotonin actually, what do they do for this chemical structure? Where is it? Evidence? Like they're calling their made up artificial neurotransmitter serotonin, which is close phonetically to serotonin, probably intentionally. But if it does follow an actual neurotransmitter, it probably could bind to receptors in a human or any animal that would take it. And so if it is specifically, and actually let's look this up. Because I don't remember what serotonin looked like. Yeah, literally, they just took something that made something that looks like serotonin. Here. Here, let me just grab this for you. Oh, whoops. Whoops, lost again. Okay, here. So, actually, I'll make this smaller. And then we'll put it side by side. If I can move that window. It's something similar to serotonin. Mind you, a lot of the neurotransmitters are similar-ish. Although I guess not necessarily. It depends on which one. Serotonin is fairly small in regular one. What does dopamine? Oh, here's some other interesting ones. No. Oh, it's just ResearchGate. Here's psilocybin, psilocin, and serotonin. As things that are similar, that are able to interact as neurotransmitters in different capacities in your brain. Serotonin sounds like it would be tasty on pancakes. That's Sarah's favorite breakfast. Oh. Yeah. A little bit. I see what you mean with that. Yeah, my argument... Oh, lost again. My argument was that, like, basically this could have acted... It's close enough to serotonin. What they might be trying to say or do here is that, like... And, like, look, it really is close. It's like 6 and a 5. 6 and a 5. If you have... That probably signifies the hydrogen coming off of the nitrogen here. We're not getting, like, where the covalent bonds are here, but... You have 2 coming off of here rather than 1. Probably is an OH. Oxygen-hydrogen pair. This might be nitrogen here too, I guess. But like what this is, if this is close enough to serotonin, it probably did actually interact with like neurotransmitters in David's brain. And it could act in such a way that like it binds to the receptors and then doesn't let go. Effectively making those, well, depressed, I guess, or depressing, not sad suppressing, but like suppressing signal. Yeah, I really gotta check out Killer 7 one day. Anyways, yes, that is 100% what they're going for here. Just based on like the fact that that looks like serotonin. Also, we've had this chemical structure for a while. We could have looked and seen, be like, oh, that is serotonin. I just didn't remember what serotonin looked like at all. Well, that's cool that they thought about that. A neurotransmitter would interact directly with the nervous system, in David's case, suppressing it enough to put his life in danger. It also explains why it was a price set in his personal manufacturer. Sarah's nervous system, worth 10 times its weight in platinum, must be pumped full of it. That also would mean that Sarah's blood is poisonous. So they think that was what killed him? Helen Young led the development of serotonin, didn't she? Ah, yeah, she did. Oh, I should go and ask her about its composition then. Normally, someone at her level wouldn't be able to answer specific questions about a compound formulated years ago. But she does have a reputation for being very detail-oriented. Oh, that works out nicely then. They say she's the type of person who to micromanage how much water people drink after 15-minute stand-up. I heard a rumor that she once said bathroom breaks are a timesheet theft. Wow. Aren't they? Oh, I'm kidding. But you should be careful about criticizing a superior where people could be listening. Good thing we got privacy in your office. No one but the two of us is listening in. Thanks for cooperating, Dawes. When the state storms the building and starts tying people, I'll know that you were helpful. Yeah, nice joke. Yes, a joke. You are joking, right? One more thing. Actually, there is one more thing I wanted to ask you.
What's that?
How long have you been a corporate spy? Ooh.
What?
Yesterday, you let it slip up that you worked in consulting.
Oh, shit. I forgot about that. Oh, Oh, okay.
I had your guard down because I was not part of the industry.
I was in consulting. What are you talking about?
When I walked in here, you said you didn't know how David died, but just now you called serotonin a poison.
What? I just assumed if a chemical was found in a dead man.
And I'm sure you've got practiced answers to every logical point I could raise. I'll just say this. Does nervous guy bit really work on people?
Keep your cool when people don't know what you're thinking. But if you act a little jumpy, they feel inclined to calm you down. Before you know it, they're spilling the guts just to have something to fill in the silence with. Though it's not entirely an act these days. To answer your question, I did 3 tours in consulting. 4 quarters of internal affairs, spy hunting at the Western Division, and then 8 embedded at Heo Industries. 24 months wearing different faces, answering to different names, sleeping on for 1 hour at a time with a 3D printed shiv and a my pillow. My nerves are completely shot. My cover wouldn't last a day if I went back under.
So you're a spy for Noble.
Retired.
You're working 6 days a week. Yeah, like you said, retired.
5.5 days a week. And in quality assurance. Trust me, this position is a cushy, generous reward for my past services.
Well, you can't be that retired. You clearly know more than you're letting on.
I have some old inboxes I still check.
So can you tell me what the hell is happening around here? Why I'm the one investigating David's death while your old coworkers are off twiddling their thumbs?
Yeah, it's that story. The soldier, the blood transfusion.
Blood, not accident. He's finally shooting straight. Did something happen afterwards? Did the transfusion not last?
I know. I adore her. She's so scary. She kills people. Why is she so cool? No, there's nothing wrong with the blood. It's the story itself. There was a soldier and he did get injured. But it was on a base during a training exercise. There was a medical tent 10 meters away the whole time. The transfusion was just a fortuitous live test. His life was never in any danger.
Oh, doesn't that make for a tearjerker? Or doesn't make for that much of a tearjerker?
Not even a good photo op, which our competitors understood. One of them, maybe a few of them, got a hold of the story, started puffing it up, astroturfing, painting over socials and virals. By the next morning, we had the military thinking we're leaking like a sieve. Meanwhile, the media bombarding us requests for videos and interviews and data.
Andrew, hi, Kahan. Hi. Hi, creatures. How you doing?
Okay. Yeah, she's so badass. So there was something fishy with that story. It wasn't good PR because it actually is the other corporations like preying on Noble for something and making it bigger than it is, making them have to basically be over-promising to everybody else for something that is not real. Which means that when it's eventually discovered that it's not real, or that like how much of it was embellished, they're going to be the ones that are like will be blamed, and they're going to be the ones that will lose credibility.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better. I hope you can get some rest. Maybe, hopefully over the weekend you can have time to relax.
And the state's praising our tech with one side of their mouth while threatening to mist us with the other for getting so greedy. Everyone in Noble CCE is being slammed ever since, trying to find an off-ramp for the story we can walk back the claims on without torpedoing our state contracts. I don't know what happened to Asher, whether it was AI gone rogue or company infighting gone too far, but I can tell you, it wasn't done by consultants.
I got an achievement for that. I got the expose the power plays in the corporations or corporate play or something. That's all you wanted to know? No. One more one more thing. You worked in CCE. Was David actually seeing a psychiatrist? Or was it all cloak and dagger bullshit? Yeah, I know that offers. I know some old coworkers who see them. So it's a front. They do both. That's not helpful. So he was probably getting training, and he was probably talking to someone. Sorry, not the answer you're hoping for. Hoping? I wasn't hoping for any answer. The answer I expected was, "You okay?" That's all. Unless you've got any advice. You're saying you want a consultation? Oh, it couldn't hurt, right? This company, all these companies hate to lose. So don't fight them. Make them think you're fighting for them. Well, that's just business as usual for me. And now we have an ad break. So, we're back. By the way, hi, Ova. What's that? No, we're not doing this again. We just went through this, Ova. No, don't you dare. You also did it wrong. You spelled the L and the O. You missed the half of it. Putting insult to lobby people. The ableism. I also don't understand the sentence at all. But I'm not sure what I do not know what that meant. Up till now, there's been this grating ambiguity about what actually killed David. We've had to use guesses and process elimination, even a goddamn pseudonym. But I've finally identified what the poison was. Now I just need to figure out how it got there. Or rather, who put it there. Which brings me back to here. An elevator shaft somewhere under or above ground, with kilometers of concrete facelessness and a bureaucratic authority surrounding me on all sides. An enemy in every cubicle and every office of every floor of this temple, built to interpret the inscrutable divinations of a temperamental oracle named Share Price, back in the belly of the beast. And yet I feel more at ease now than I have all weekend. It makes sense that I know Noble's my enemy. I know where to aim. And all that's left to do is pull the trigger. Good thing I didn't bring a knife to this fight. I brought my gun. Morgan! And that sound just now tells me that it's playing its role perfectly. I'll never have a real use for a firearm with this much bloatware. But just by carrying it around and paying attention to when the hard safety flips on, I'll always get a heads up when the police have entered the vicinity. Oh, that's devious. Interesting. So, wait, she bought a gun for police radar? Yeah, girl. Also, girl. Morgan, you're so smart. You're terrifying, and you're so smart. Hi, Detective Reyes. It's Morgan. I happened to get your contact info when you got me cleared for the crime scenes yesterday. Her name is Chuckles. Delete contact. Blocked his contact. Stop voice to text. Stop voice to text. Oh, I just wanted to check in. Report this contact to voice to text disabled. And advise you that Noble's scared shitless of you stomping in and nationalizing the place. Oh, so they might be a little uncooperative when it comes to fetching documents.
Locked as contact. What makes you think we're at Noble?
Oh, my bad then. Forget us anything. And whatever you do, don't start your investigation with their stock buyback program.
Trying to reserve psychology. It only works if you care what you think. Stop voice to text.
Oh, yeah. The explanation for the gun. She's so devious. About time. I thought I'd have to ride the elevator for the next half hour. Morgan, counselor, your presence has been requested on the upper floors. Deja vu. Might have a moment to speak in private. Always. But who's asking? The board. Oh, what are the chances? I've been wanting to speak to them too. Right, this is so mean. Was all the way over in the kitchen and heard Morgan only seems also getting flustered. I was more laughing at this. Oh. Oh, hey, young. Evangeline Morgan. Helen Young. Yeah, thank you for making the time in your schedule. Her posture, her tone, the fold of her clothes, professional, dialed up to 11. Corporate armor, full set. Her guard is up. Just Morgan is fine. You're just a few minutes early, Morgan. Typical corporate, never to be the first one to show up, pissing contest nonsense. Doesn't even make sense. They called me in here. How could I possibly be early? Flip the script or play their game. Yeah, Morgan's just like cute. I mean, if we play their game, it feels like here playing their game would be the smarter thing to do, because that leaves them thinking that they're in control. Yeah, we know the game. We can play the game easily. It's like, it's child play for her. Being too... Flip the script. Yeah, I guess that's a question. I don't really know what flip the script means here. Like, does flip the script mean make them think you're on their side? Yeah, like the spy said, but why would flip the script mean that? Yeah, I wouldn't play their game mean that? Flip their script. It can honestly mean anything. Also, hi, Red Manticore. I'm going to say play their game because that makes more sense here, but we'll see what happens with it. Oh, pardon me in that case. 1,000 apologies. You're voyeuristic rat racing hallheads, but I'm immune to your corporate posturing. If anything, knowing that you're all watching me right now, pretending to be busy with something else, just makes your cowardice that much more apparent. So, who will exactly be joining us? Oh, you don't have time to remember their names, and it won't do much good either. Right, so they're not just rich, they're anonymous rich. The Mob Act guarantees minimum level security. What does that have the right thing to do? Minimum level security and peace of mind of any citizen who might be targeted due to their financial status. Protection Act Reasonable Anonymity Act is a law passed in 2059 and amended in 2061, intended to protect the safety of individuals with income above the 99th percentile. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Thank gosh a law was finally passed to protect the 1%, the so often victimized, never like so powerless 1% that needs so much protection. Labeled in the press as the Mob Act for its supposed goal of hindering mob justice, The PRA established procedures and funding for technology that helps for individuals within that particular tax bracket keep their name, face, and address off of the main net, ensuring that they and their families are not prejudiced against just because of their financial status. Economic uncertainty and civil unrest in the late 2050s led to a series of highly publicized crimes wherein corporate executives at a number of high-profile companies were stalked, harassed, and assaulted in net organized flash lynchings. So this is the anti-eat the rich act, basically. After a particularly chaotic attack that resulted in the hospitalization of a 14-year-old, the PRA was proposed, baited, and signed into law just under 11 hours. A flash lynching case has not gone on to trial since 2062, but a PRA continues to protect citizens to this day. Some economists have pointed out to the PRA and its promise of anonymity as to why the nation has enjoyed a relatively resurgence in corporate emigration over the past few decades, but the purposely obscured nature of the law's implementation have made the task of weighing its true economic impact effectively impossible. That's convenient. Wait, which people are we eating? All of them. I mean, with inflation the way it is, right? Food's gonna get more and more expensive. What else are we gonna eat? The mod pack guarantees minimum level of security and peace of mind for any citizen who might be targeted due to their financial status. Spoken like a true believer. Except Mob Act is what normal people call it. Turning the party line but allowing yourself one instance of rebellion. Or just a slip of the tongue. I would never fault anyone for wanting to change their privacy. Or run their privacy, especially not job creators. Job creators. The politically correct term for corporations. Also correct would be patriots, according to one of the articles you read. Thank gosh for our safety net standards that take harmful words that would maybe disparage some corporations and use like terms like can't remember the terms for them. Shark? Something? And replace it with family-friendly, content-safe words like job creator. Meg, thank you. Meg, yes. I'm probably punch bag for how much I want to do what she wants with me. Wait. But it must get pretty inconvenient not having a name to call him. Not really. Conversations with them are always one-sided. Oh, sounds like a great environment to do business in. Look at the building you're standing in. We managed to eke out a mega profit somehow. So if it works... Well, it didn't take you for the might makes right type. And I didn't take you for a clueless bore incapable of reading the room. Sorry, did I say something off color? I was only being casual since it's just the two of us in here. Oh, maybe we should take advantage of this rare bit of privacy. Clear the air. You're in here to ask about Sarah, yes? As I said before, I had no idea that Dr. Asher had been building an android on his private property. And I can say here and now that no one at Noble Electronics ever suspected that he was working to undermine the tenant framework. She's trying to sound candid in her tone, but she's choosing her words with a surgeon scalpel. This is being recorded. Was she coached? Is that truth? Or is that your statement as VP of Android's future? Oh, it's both, of course. Dr. Asher is always more happy to hole himself up and work independently. We both know that. True, he could be pretty recluse. I'm sure it caused all kinds of headaches, him disappearing on you and all of that. Must have been especially difficult when he came back with breakthroughs that propelled Noble to the top of the industry. You should take a seat. If that's everyone, shall we begin? Friendly bunch. Sorry, not you're in here. You're in here to ask about Sarah. Yeah, camera on, sound muted, sound only. Yeah, or audio, sound only. No, I mean it's no audio. I mean, assuming that means no microphone, but it's a speaker, not a microphone. Is there a problem with the sound? Did anyone get muted by accident?
No.
Okay. Thanks for having me. I don't want to take too much of your time. I'm actually a bit flustered having you all show up here. I didn't expect to talk to anyone higher up than the service associate. You're investigating the death of Dr. David Asher. Why wouldn't we take that seriously? Because you wanted me to go away. At least half of you do. The others aren't sure yet. You must be confused. The board is as always united in its decisions and its visions for the future direction of this company. Uh-huh. A board of directors is just 13 roulette rolling psychopaths who get together and vote on whether or not to execute their CEO every 6 months. None of them would be where they are if they were anything else. But I happen to know how that kind of person thinks. The way I see it, there are two possible outcomes. Option 1, you oppose me. Shut me out completely, stonewall install me, and wait for me to walk into trial so unprepared and ill-informed that I inevitably lose. Obviously, I don't like this option, but you can't be big fans of it either. If I lose, the world would learn that David Asher was killed by an android he programmed. Then every customer you've ever had and every lawyer they've ever seen on TV, and every firebrand strapping young 60-year-old junior senator looking to make a name for themselves will use your company balance sheet as their personal chew toy. The company is more than capable of, after which the state will still might just gobble you whole and throw you down enough sanctions to deperson whomever among you cries no fair. The company and its allies at the capital can more than fend for themselves. Yes, probably, but not definitely, which makes it a gamble. Still my turn to talk? Then on to option 2. You cooperate with me. I use what you give me, or forge for me, to win at trial. Wow, Morgan. Proving that David wasn't killed by an android. Then, when the markets open tomorrow morning, you all get another round of stock buybacks on the initial dip. Then pat yourselves on the back for staying calm as you continue to profit off David's legacy for the next 100 years. And you won't even have to worry about him speaking out of turn. That is only if you win. If the company cooperates with you, denies that David was killed by, and the state beats you anyways, it would be catastrophic. Yeah, it's a gamble. But if at least some of your board wasn't considering taking it, I wouldn't be here. Damn, Morgan. Oh, we're all busy people, and I'd hate to drive a wedge between such a close-knit group of friends, so how about this? Ow! Meh. Dead. Meh. Option 3, hedge your bets. Oh, what? Put little on black, put little on red. Spread the love and lower your risk profile. Ow. Thank you, Chloe. Don't make any statements about the trial. Tell the media the states got your windpipe down in a vice. Wait until just before the markets open Monday morning to send out your PR packages for rubber stamping, after you already know who's won. One way or another, this trial will be over before the end of the day, and you'll never hear from me again. So don't shut me out completely for another few hours. And does anyone second that motion? Very well. We can answer some of your questions, Counselor. Better make them count then. No reason to be shy now. The poison that killed David Asher has been identified as serotonin. You're familiar? Yes, it's one of our many patented materials, as I recall. You recalled it pretty easily yesterday. Gee, what's changed? But intellectual property law can be very complex, Counselor. I'm not sure how much I or anyone at the company could tell you about serotonin at this time. Well, if you can't tell me about it, who could? You did lead its development, didn't you? Yes, I oversaw the project, which just makes it that much harder to speak freely without compromising the confidentiality of the teams that reported to me. Oh, I understand. That sounds like bullshit and I don't believe it. But I'm not asking for trade secrets here. It's a perfect match for the only foreign substance found in his blood. Serotonin is what killed him. The state will say the same. That's not possible. And that is what I was wondering. I know, I got leash midair. Care to elaborate? I'm sorry, but I can't say anymore at this time. So much for cooperating. And if I were to ask you as an officer of the court, then I would ask you to be patient and wait until this afternoon. ADA Rockford has already called me in to testify. Alrighty? Damn it, I got cocky because of the cops' late arrival. I must have been gone straight for the throat this morning and left the investigation for later. How, knowing her, she probably managed to ID the serotonin before she went to bed last night. So are we still having this conversation then? As I said, I'm sorry. But I have to take more than just my personal feelings into consideration here. There's a great deal at stake. Corporate speak for, you're too stupid to understand why I'm being this dense. She's just trying to shield the company, plain and simple. LARPing as hella young D'Arc on crusade against government overreach. But if she's that busy defending Noble, she might be leaving herself unguarded. Why is she here anyway? Why am I speaking to her and not her lawyers? That's right. This is a vulnerable position for her. She wouldn't put herself in check like this, not unless she was forced to. Hello? So that's it. Acting as her mouthpiece isn't some honor for her. This is a punishment. She's being used as a meat shield. They're upset with her, perhaps even suspicious of her. Time to find out why. Okay, oh boy. You look too beautiful today to not toss near her. Aw. Meh. Yeah. That's what I was wondering too. Like, well, I mean, actually, it's probably not, might not be the, no, it is it using the blood? It's a neurotransmitter. It might not necessarily be in the blood, but there is probably some level of like, nothing inside the androids are probably actually harmful to humans in that regard. Yeah, she's being used as a scapegoat. Okay, so Sarah, jealousy, David's well. I've been wondering about this whole time. How much of this is jealousy? Yeah, what if it wasn't poisoned, killed by poison at all? Like, I think I even pointed this out on Tuesday or even 2 streams ago that like, it's almost circumstantial that there was blood, and Morgan pointed it out too, that like we're assuming that this chemical was found in his blood and he died, and it seemed to be found on the no, it wasn't found in the cup. It wasn't found in the cup. That's right. But there's no place where else we would have gotten it. Wait, that's right? It wasn't actually found in the cup. Here's the thing. What was the difference between the soldier and David when it comes to the serotonin running through their veins? The cup was inconclusive. I mean, the soldier had a lot more physical activity going on. Just by nature of being there, and yeah, I'm also generally thinking on some level that like, hold on, let me go back over here. Let me confirm this. Yeah, so David's cup had nothing, right? Toxicology tests prove it inconclusive. Too much whiskey was drunk and or evaporated. So we do not actually know if the serotonin was in this cup. The cup might be a red herring. There might not be anything. There wasn't any, everything was inconclusive. So there was no, serotonin has not been found anywhere. The only place serotonin has been found in his lab, in his house, was a manufacturer. Which makes sense because we'd expected to find it. A red solo herring. Wow. What if he just had... And his blood. It was found in his blood. But the assumption is that like he died for substance in his blood, therefore that's what killed him. What if he just always had serotonin in his blood? What if the serotonin had been in his blood the whole time? Either through exposure or through his own modification in some regard. Maybe he was treating himself in some way. If serotonin isn't a poison, it could just be. Maybe he was getting high off of it. I don't know. Maybe it was. Oh. Is there anything in here about like him not drinking alcohol otherwise? Like, would he have not drunk alcohol other than this one moment? And he used to drink a lot, but did he stop? Because I mean, I guess one way you could go about this is like maybe he hadn't drank any alcohol, and it just was a bad set of circumstances where he had serotonin in his blood for whatever reason, and had been there for a while, but he just hadn't had alcohol with it, and it mixed badly. So it wasn't. It would have just been like that plus drinking alcohol is what ended up killing him, and it wasn't something he anticipated. It wasn't something he expected. It was an interaction that nobody would know about. Well, probably you could actually guess some level of it. It was a common. It could have been the combination. Yeah. Alcohol's a depressant, and generally, alcohol does interact with antidepressants, and specifically antidepressants that interact with the serotonin network, like alcohol plus SSRIs. Oh wait, I guess even in my thinking about stuff, the serotonin impacting or affecting a nervous system. One way it could impact a system would be as an SSRI. Quite literally, the serotonin gets stuck into the reuptake system and stops actual serotonin from being recycled basically and reused, flooding out or starving out the neurons of usable serotonin. So serotonin could have been acting as an antidepressant, maybe a strong antidepressant, and then he drank alcohol. Hold on. I need to look up. What does... I was looking at like what different SSRIs look like. They're more different than serotonin than anything. I mean, they're similar to serotonin in that they're still like other organic compounds, but they're not too similar. So the serotonin is still a much closer analog to serotonin. So maybe it wouldn't act as a SSRI, but there's an idea. They said something about I think he doesn't like wine, or he has like a wine rack, but he like a lot of wine, but he doesn't like care about wine. What if you had alcohol and you had soup? Anyways, Also, Night Dragon Fruit. I'm gonna click jealousy here. I wanna see this path. Curious what happens or what she has to say. I have to admit that you aren't more shaken up today, Miss Jung. I am processing. After all, you and David did have a history. You started at the same time, didn't you? Yes, we were colleagues and cordial one with another. Yeah, so this is more a hunch that like there was more going on, and I think we know on some level there was more going on, sort of just like how close to it you press. Yeah, you visited him for a drink 2 days ago. There's more going on here. I like the way her eyes shift like this. Also, I think knowing the answer to this is going to be more informative than anything, as like helping rule her out completely. Don't be so modest. You helped him create the 1-point doctrine that saved the company. That is a gross exaggeration. Noble is far too large an organization to be affected by the contributions of any single individual. Suppose you're right. No one person could change Noble's fortunes overnight. Except for David Asher, of course. But he was a once-in-a-generation talent. The guy Noble chose for the advertisements and the one they commissioned editorials about. Sorry, you're right. I shouldn't have equated the two of you. I just hope his 1-point doctrine doesn't fall out of favor now that he's gone. Yes, well, we certainly wouldn't want that. Yeah, that was a reaction. Well, she certainly didn't exactly explode with rage, but she definitely reacted. There's real jealousy there. Were they ever boiled over, though? Yeah, that might be more... Yeah, no, she's pissed, but that didn't seem like murdery pissed. That seemed like, on some level, she had, like, her trust in him broken, or at least like some like faith in him broken fundamentally, and that never got repaired kind of anger. Like that's some like deep-seated envy, seeing your best friend, I'm assuming best friend given how close they're working together, like rise getting glory when they really didn't even want to do anything, and she had to keep working hard. Yeah, that didn't seem murder pissed. I don't know. Is her having black eye? Let's check. I didn't mean to pry about your relationship with David, or lack thereof. I suppose I'm just curious about his standing inside of Noble as a whole. David Asher was, and always will be, an outstanding contributor to the company's forward progress. Nothing will ever change that. Not even if he was killed by one of his own creations? That would, of course, be a tragic element, and that would call for reconsideration of his legacy. She was almost off guard there. Like she was surprised me to asking about Sarah ruining his reputation. Is that worth asking? I don't know if that is a clue. If that's right or not. I feel like this is a good thing to ask, but we'll see. I don't know if that's a clue. Besides Sarah, David's reputation was crystal clear. He never went against the company once. Did he? That's... Unless I'm mistaken and he and Noble were on bad terms. In that case, I might get the impression that some parts of leadership were actually glad to see him taken off the chessboard. That is not... Something buzzing in your ear? Fine, I suppose it makes a difference if you hear it now or at the trial or on your feed tomorrow. Dr. David Asher being sued by the company for breach of contract. Ooh. Satisfied? That's pretty good, but I need one more. Oh, now we're talking. That's spicy. Okay. David's will? Yeah. I don't think asking about Sarah at this point is going to matter too much because I think that I'm more of the person that Jung and the board do not know about Sarah at all. David's will, though, there might be something. Has David's will ever been located? It had never gone anywhere. It's still in a safety deposit box. Ooh. We'll retrieve it and have it read out once all the unknown surrounding his death have been made into knowns. So David's will hasn't even become part of the equation yet. It might not be for weeks at this rate. Is that calculated, though? Okay, no, that is not a clue. Because we hit it. Well, then I suppose that's blackjack. So you couldn't have mentioned this breach of contract earlier. Not without complicating the company's position unnecessarily, no. But there's no hiding it at this point. It'll all come up soon enough. There's a paper trail. Much more than that. We've been making moves to let him go for some time. Ooh. Ooh. He kept her hidden from Jess, Isaac, Morgan. It makes sense to hide her from Noble, too. Noble Electronics parting ways with David Asher. Must have been one hell of a breach of contract. What did he do? He betrayed the confidence of the board. Was he contesting the suit? Putting up a fight? Engaging in a legal battle against a mega corporation without even telling me? Until recently, yes. You mean until he died? How recently? We spoke on Friday. That? What was he talked about in his parlor? No, that was earlier in the day. We were in this room, actually. Him, me, and several members of our legal department. It was an arbitration. And did you come to an agreement? A compromise. He would resign from his position in 2 quarters, forging royalties on any products, or foregoing royalties on any products we would be developed after the 24 months. In exchange, he wouldn't be publicly fired, and he would still be credited in all past, present, and future filings. Wow, how very reasonable. Earlier in the day. Yeah, this is very sus. No matter what the deal was, letting go David Asher is insanity. Reasonably, yes. We ended on a good note, I'd like to think. We shook hands, even took a photo. Yeah, looks like you're all having a great time. Yeah, very successful arbitration. You all look so pleased. And so coming out of that with a compromise on both sides. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, the looks. Lovely. Something funny. Oh, I didn't know the board told jokes. They don't. That was illegal. Expressing their displeasure with how much paperwork my good note ending left them stuck with. Children, it was just one night of overtime. So while they were spending their Friday night blowing ink dry, you paid a visit to David's penthouse. Something left unfinished? Professionally, it was a good meeting. There was no yelling, no finger pointing. Much cleaner than expected. But Dr. Asher did not want to retire. He didn't want to be forced out of the company when he was the one when he had contributed so much. I didn't enjoy doing that to him, so I came over that night to apologize to him. Yeah, no, this doesn't make you look it at all. We talked, reminisced. I remember the time that you made this company and took all my fame and glory, and now that you're getting fired, isn't that nice to remember? When he brought out the drinks, I thought we'd be toasting to a new day. A few minutes later, he was dead. Because of that AI. That AI. Any idea how it came to be? As I said, I had no idea that he was working on it. My question was more broad than that. If you really believe David built an AI, how do you think he did it? How does Noble Electronics think that he managed to work out the tenants, or run the tenants? It's quite beyond my area of expertise. And no one at the company should call themselves an expert in illegal technology. No, certainly not. Companies famously only operate in legal territory. Definitely. Never has been anything illegal done by a company. Surely not. But some in the R&D department have theorized that he created what they call a wax-wane decaying priority loop, which, as I understand, is an unstable, resource-intensive theoretical method for pseudo-randomizing the weight amongst preset tenants. Well, about as far off target as it gets with that guess. But that kind of inelegant brute force nonsense seems a far cry from the kind of thing David would create, and I seem to have taken us over our allotted time slot. Oh, but I didn't even get to wave goodbye. You're serious about this trial? Don't I look it? You're not just making a play, you're actually going to defend this thing. I'm just defending myself, Miss Young. Oh, yes, of course you are. My mistake. I hoped you might be rooting for me, to tell you the truth. I may yet save everyone's stock options. The stock options will be alright either way. They always are. That gamble I offered your board. Which outcome would you bet on? Finally, an easy question. What I would bet is that whatever the outcome, the company will eat it up and shit it out with very little difficulty. You painted an ugly picture back there, but I've already seen the future. And it's just another marketing gimmick. The great Dr. Asher, too smart, too bold, too far ahead of his time. What spark of his genius remains buried in the inspired Animate 619? I guess that depends on... You were exactly right. He is more valuable to Noble as a dead man. Dead men can't step at a line or put their foot in their mouth or hold politically inconvenient opinions. To a good salesperson, a dead man is just another selling point. Pardon my outburst. I am just tired. It's been a very long week for me. I'll let you prepare for your afternoon, then, Dr. Young. No one calls me doctor. I ask not to. You didn't want the title? At times I have thought very little of it, the PhD I earned from a Noble-owned school. Biochemistry couldn't have been a large department at Noble before they started work on warm androids in earnest. Probably didn't have many expectations for the program back when she was a part of it. But I was proud of it when I first got it. Something change? It never seemed to catch on. People didn't use it, so eventually I told people not to use it. A very high IQ social power play, you understand. Yes, Dr. Young, we're all aware how high IQ you are. David never insisted that people use it either. That's very different, and I think you know it. David Asher didn't have to. Yeah, no, she really did not help her case. I think we're here, aren't we? Oh my god, there's one more stream of this in there. This is still going. There's still a chunk left, isn't there? Is this like stopping point? Someone with a decent music industry knowledge and someone who's watched what record companies did to Juice WRLD, the dead man remark is very true. Yeah. You know, I really had ambitions that maybe we would be able to finish today. I'm so slow. And it's so late. Okay, Sunday then. Meow. 2 hours. Oh yeah, okay. I think this is a good stopping point. So yeah, we'll stop here. Enter the terrifying culture it is, but again, then again, so it is kind of sad reality. Yeah. Honestly, this being chapter 1 is amazing. This is a really good, well thought out and like in-depth case. And if this is like, they're setting a really high bar for the rest of this game. And I'm excited to see what they do with it, because holy shit. Yeah, we're gonna finish this definitely on Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. Mhm. Okay. Man. Man, man. Um. mm, mm, mm. Ow.
Good birdie.
Hi, Mike. Yeah, we heading out. Let's go raid code channel maybe. Record channel a while. Ow. Ow. This game took 2 near 12-hour sessions for me for 1 1/3 episodes. Yeah. Yeah, damn. There you go. Alright. Yeah, this is cool. Thank y'all for being here. I'm gonna get going, and I'm gonna go watch, like, maybe an episode of Dr. Stone. Or maybe I'll just, like... Ow! I don't play a wind-down game or something. Thank you for being here. Hope you have a nice night. Take care of yourselves. Have a good weekend. Hope you're able to relax and stuff. And maybe on Sunday I'll have, like, more progress with something. Whether it's coding or video related. I don't know. I'll try. Bye. Take care, everybody. See ya.